know why. I just am not going to allow myself to do it.
I think it boils down to maybe the lack of depth with this organization.
Right.
If you have a bad spring, because most of the time, these games, Manny's out after one at bat. Tatis is out after two at bats. Like, you're seeing numbers 97 and 64 out there most of the time.
Yep.
So could I say that maybe the lack of depth in the organization is kind of rearing its little ugly head here in spring? If they,
I wouldn't say
if they have a bad spring.
I want you to say.
I don't know, dude.
No, I mean, I'm willing to say that, like, if we want to go down the path that we don't think the Padres have the necessary depth to win 93 games this year like they did last year, I'm happy to do that. I think that's a fair and reasonable take.
Let's just start the show. Here's Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? It's hour one of Jon and Jim, and Jose Iglesias is a Padres. So if that was your hope for the offseason, has come to fruition. Jose Iglesias is a Padre. Kevin Acee will join us from spring training at 4:30 with full reaction to this move. It's just a minor league move. I think there's a very good chance, obviously, he's on the major league roster. But Jose Iglesias is a Padre. By the way, we have a bracketologist on the show. Let's not bury leads here for a second, okay? Forget about Iglesias for a second, Jim. This is what I want to say. This is why I'm yelling at you. Me? Jim is going Saturday, and this is now on the heels of the Aztecs losing last night, and I'm nervous because of this. I was already a wreck. It's hard to sleep. It's March, and now Jim and Aaron are going. Now, does Aaron cancel out Jim and become good luck? Maybe. But
why would she cancel on me?
I feel like you're bad luck, so maybe she's good luck. Therefore, you guys equal each other out, and you're just no luck at all inside the.
I get you.
I think you're bad luck.
I think meant like actually cancel and be like, yeah, I'm not going. It's
no. Like she's good, you're bad. You guys cancel each other out, and you're like equal energy.
Yeah,
but
I get that.
I forget where it even stems from. Like, why are you bad luck?
Because I'm Jim. I don't know.
You take a photo from Petco Park and then they're down 10-0 in the second inning.
Right. Like, I just am bad luck.
And it stems from you never went the year they went to the national championship. So I'm like, that's a good omen. Like, you don't go and they're good. Therefore, if you do go, they aren't good.
Like, here's an example of me being bad luck.
Okay.
The year after, when was it? It was 2 years ago. I got a Deebo Samuel jersey.
Okay. Now he's been dealt a terrible since.
Then he goes on to get injured.
Yep.
Then he goes on to have an awful season.
Right. The man trades.
Then he gets traded.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's how I am bad luck. Any jerseys that I get, I made sure that the Padres jersey that I got, because I have a lot of jerseys in the cart. But the one Padres jersey I have doesn't have a name on the back. And that's for a reason.
Because you took Hosmer off it? Off the back? Why'd you do that?
Because I know that if I get any jersey
traded, Machado's
that player
gone.
Gets traded, he gets injured, they have awful season. Like, I feel like I am the bad luck charm. So that is an example of where this bad luck, I guess, comes from.
I would be fine with you going on Saturday. I mean, Fletch just made a great point off air. He's like, are you seriously going? Because it's
I'm an idiot.
It's now all on you. Because if the Aztecs don't win on senior night against Nevada, and I'm not kidding when I say this, I'm not going to blame anyone other than Jim. It's not going to be on the team. It's not going to be on anyone other than Jim if San Diego State doesn't win on Saturday. But Jim will be in the building. It's a must win, by the way.
Must win.
And Jim is willing to put himself through that on Saturday night.
So, yeah, this whole thing is riding on me.
Correct.
I'm going to be so nervous because I know that if
I'll text you if they go down 2-0 and be like, leave. Get out of the building.
If this thing's like a 4-point game under 5 minutes to play, I will be very nervous.
I'm nervous already.
And I know that if somehow they lose on senior night on Saturday, I don't know if you're going to want to talk to me for a while, right?
I don't want to talk to you. Even now. In general. Again, it's just like, and we'll get into this. We've got Rocco Miller, who's one of the best bracketologists, joining us at 2:30. Like, San Diego State is right squarely smack dab on the bubble, where they're going to have to win on Saturday, and that might be enough to get them into the tournament. It might not, but I think they're going to need to win on Saturday as part of their puzzle to get to the NCAA tournament, unless they win the Mountain West tournament. But I think Saturday is just a huge game.
Don't worry, bro.
Okay, you got it all under control.
I'm going to bring this one home, okay?
You better, dude.
I'm bringing this one home.
You better, man.
I feel like desperate times call for desperate measures, and they need this win on Saturday night. So I'm deciding to grace them with my presence. And
now you played a little bit in college, right?
Bro,
Are you going to be like the dude for UNLV, just dropping 26 with your step back threes on your senior night?
So I went out to dinner last night with me and Aaron.
Soft,
very soft, great dinner there at Catch. Get home. I don't know. Get home, and there's about, I don't know, 8 to 10 minutes. I think there was like 9:50 left in the game.
Okay.
I turn it on.
It's probably like pretty close to a tie game.
Yeah. And I'm like, who is this guy that's just making threes left and right? He's doing like hezzy step backs and like up, like reverse layups and like teardrop floaters. And I'm like, this guy must be their best player. So I look him up. I'm like, he has to be averaging like 15, 16 points a game.
Has to, right?
He's averaging like barely 8. And I'm thinking to myself, what the hell? Dude put up 26 points for UNLV last night.
Just like staring down the Aztec bench like all night long.
Who is this guy?
6th year, 4th college, career high 26. UNLV goes 12 of 24 from 3. 12 of 24.
What are they? The Golden State Warriors in
2017?
Yeah, what?
I know. All right, we'll get into it more. We have 4 hours, so we can react to that. Now, the Padres, I would say their second most sizable move of the offseason behind Nick Pavetta's today, and it's a minor league deal. I really feel that way. Jose Iglesias is a nice player. Yes. He's had a good career. Now, I think a lot of people thought his career was over a couple of years ago. Spent a season in the Padres system playing in AAA in 2023. Didn't start last year in the major leagues. He gets called up with the Mets. Now, he's like the vibes guy. He might be the VAR vibes above replacement guy for 2025. That's best case. That's maybe wishful. But the Mets were not a good team last year, and 2 people get credit for their turnaround. That purple thing that works at McDonald's. What was that guy called?
The purple thing that works at McDonald's. Grimace.
Grimace was a big reason why they turned their season around. He started throwing out first pitches they couldn't lose. And then Jose Iglesias on field hit like 330 and was like an all-everything guy. And he had that OMG song.
He started the OMG movement.
And it started like their rallying cry, which happens sometimes for teams that go on a run. So he had a nice year. Now, it was 85 games.
Nice year. It was a very good year.
But again, it was, if you go deeper into it, it's all singles, which is who he's always been, right? He's never going to hit for power. He's a nice little defensive piece. He played a half year. And yes, he hit for a very high average. What was it? 330, 335?
He hit 337
That's amazing.
In 85 games for the Mets. He had an 830 OPS, 4 home runs, 16 doubles, 26 RBI. He had a 381 on base and 291 at bats. He did not play in 2023, John.
Well, he did. He just didn't play in the big leagues.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Like, he didn't play in the big leagues in 2023. He's been with how many teams here? 7 different teams in his career. He was an all-star in 2015 with the Detroit Tigers, where he hit 300 that year.
Yep.
It's wild how last year in just 85 games, he put up a 3.1 WAR. That's kind of crazy.
Yep.
Again, WAR is a stat that I'll never, ever understand, ever. But it indicates if the player had a good year or not. And clearly, Jose Iglesias had a really good year. So now my question is, if you're willing to give Jose Iglesias a potential major league deal worth around, what, $3 million?
Yeah.
Why not have given that same deal to Donovan Solano, who got the $3 million from the Seattle Mariners? I don't know.
That's, you know what I mean? I think it's in line with that type of deal, though. You might say, okay, Solano, is he going to replicate what he did in 2024? Then again, I might say, is Iglesias going to replicate what he did in 2024 in 2025? I mean, I think they're similar. Here's the thing where AJ Preller was awesome last year with this type of on the margin, on the edges move. That's exactly what this is. I mean, this isn't a focal piece move. He could be depth. He could be a bench piece. He could find some regularity in there, I guess, in their infield, depending on what they do. Like, does Jake Cronenworth play first? Does Luis Ariz DH? And does Jose Iglesias play second for you if he's capable of hitting, or does he come off your bench because your bench has been weakened? And we've talked about that. And is he a contact hitter off your bench that can play multiple positions? I just think it's for a team that lacked depth. Have we not been critical of their depth? Was it not our open today? For a team that lacked depth, you need the Peraltas and the Solanos and now the Jose Iglesias for 2025. Yeah, you have to. Mm-hmm. You absolutely have to have those players to get to where you want to get. Again, is it Manny Machado? No, you're not adding Manny Machado, but the 26th player has value. So hopefully they have a good 26th player, so to speak.
What I like last year, when you look at his splits,
does he hit lefties?
Oh, absolutely. He hits lefties. He hit 402 against lefties last year.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, is the internet wrong, John?
Never.
Exactly.
I'm sure it's been wrong before.
Now, again, it wasn't many. He had 92 at bats against left-handed pitching, 37 hits. That's a 402 average.
Give this guy. He had a 1,000 OPS against left-handed pitching.
Yeah.
This guy's unbelievable.
Against righties, he hit 303.
Oh, this is a steal. Masterclass. That's what this is. So, I'd be screaming if I knew that.
Well, scream away. There you go. He's great. What does worry me though is that it's not like he has done this 4 straight years in a row. So can he match those numbers next year? Or not next year, but this year?
Do you know his career average against left-handed pitching?
What is it?
300.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, just play this guy against left-handed pitching. That's all I need. You sit every other day, play against left-handed pitching. That's all I want to see.
So, of course, Schulte is probably fired up.
Oh, I'm fired up.
I know. I can see. Want to hear from Schulte?
Has he commented on him?
He's commented.
Yes, I want to hear from him.
Here's Schulte this morning. I'm surprised he actually commented on him because it's not official yet from what I can tell, but it's only a minor league deal. The Padres aren't going to.
Were they partying?
Put out a tweet for a minor league deal?
Were they pouring Budweiser over their heads as he was talking about it?
They were not, John.
It should have been.
But here's Schulte this morning asked by Kevin about Jose Iglesias.
Excited to have him. He's on board, and it's here later tonight. Clearly a proven guy in the league, plays multiple positions, integral part of a lot of clubs and their success, winning player, very accomplished guy. So we're excited to have him come in here and have a chance to compete for an opportunity.
You can always use guys with the qualities that you just mentioned, but it wouldn't seem like you had a glaring need there. But maybe Aggie is going to spend more time in the outfield. Is that a possibility?
It's all on the table. I mean, listen, we got a competitive camp. We add to it with Iglesias. It does. I mean, Aggie's already moved around the field, second, third, left field. Played short last year a little bit. So, AJ brought him in. It's a good opportunity for him to come in and compete for the spot in the club, and that's what we're here for.
I like the move. I think it's a depth piece that you can never have enough of. And if you now have a bench of Jose Iglesias, Connor Joe, I guess Martin Maldonado or Elias Diaz or Campy, and then who else you got there? Tyler Wade.
You know what? I'm realizing they have too many position players.
There's going to have to be a move, and we'll talk about that later in the show. Like
there's a crunch with your bench position.
Does this signal, hey, this player just hasn't worked out for us in the spring, so we're going to try this?
I wouldn't think this early it would, truthfully. I think it's more about creating competition, and whoever wins the job wins the job.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Again, it is spring, but Eggy Rosario is a guy that Acee has told us could see some time in the outfield, could be their DH, obviously can play multiple positions in the infield. I mean, it's a guy like Jason Hayward. They're going to look at him and be like, yeah, this is not going to work out.
Oh, well, it would be Connor Joe before Jason Hayward, wouldn't it?
You think?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Jason Hayward, I mean, what did they give him? $1 million?
Connor Joe does have options left.
So he could start the year in AAA.
If that were to happen, yeah.
Jason Hayward is either going to be on the big league team or he's not going to be here.
I think the chances of him not being here all year are pretty high.
Yeah, potentially. I would think that I'm all for creating competition at this time of year. And you can't have too much depth. And if Jose Iglesias starts the year in the minor leagues, that's not the worst thing in the world. He started last year in the minor leagues.
The signing just reminds me of when they signed Donovan Solano. I had confidence in Solano because he's a lifetime almost 290 hitter.
Yeah.
Jose Iglesias is a lifetime 283 hitter. Last year, he was fantastic for the Mets. He brought the vibes, right?
Yep.
We talked about.
They're going to need that.
Of course, can never have too much. So that's how I kind of view it.
I say just play against left-handed pitching. Let's react to it. What do you think of this move? I mean, is it of substance or not for AJ Preller and the Padres 3 weeks out from opening day? 70470. Start it with the word team. Then we'll turn to our bracketologist of the week, Rocco Miller. Are the Aztecs still on decent footing or not. He'll join us at 2:30. Stay with us on Jon and Jim. All right, you just heard that promo. You can catch the Brian Dutcher Show tomorrow night at 6. We'll catch up on Senior Night Saturday, the game that Jim is going to. The Brian Dutcher Coaches Show on your home for the Aztecs, San Diego Sports 760. Just that must-win game. Just that one. Talk about that.
Of course, I would show up to the must-win game.
Yeah,
not
couldn't
like
you have made it like
it's like you like the
the
first
USD game?
Yeah. Or like give me another game this year that was just like they just routed a team at home.
I mean, there have been a lot of good games. I mean,
There have been.
you know, a rout at home. I don't know, but I get the point.
Yeah.
Couldn't you have showed up for the route at home? No, here's the thing. You're going to get there for one of the great atmospheres of the year. Senior night. Get there early, Jim. Okay. Give Aaron the full experience. She wants to see the senior night.
Like, why couldn't I have shown up to the Wednesday, January 8th game against Air Force when they won 67-38?
When they went on a 40-4 run?
Right.
Well, they trailed in that game, too.
They did.
Remember that?
They outscored them by 20 in the second half.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to look at other games here that Colorado State, they won by 15. That was nice. That was cute.
Like, I'm serious when I'm saying that if they don't win, like, the show's over.
Like, why couldn't I gone to like the USD game?
Right. Exactly.
Or the Cal Baptist, even though the Cal Baptist game was kind of close.
Right.
You know what? I should have gone to the Occidental game.
Yeah, I still would have been scared. I'd be like, "Oh, Jim's going."
I mean, they won by 51 points, but
it probably would have been 41 if you were there.
But still, I apologize in advance. But yeah,
no, don't apologize.
I'm only going to show up during a must-win game.
Just consider this: I've invested the last 4 months in all of this. Right?
Yeah.
You're going to show up Saturday night with Aaron.
Yeah.
And Aaron's going to be like, "Oh, neat.
Yeah.
They have margaritas,"
well,
and you're going to pick up a margarita.
I am.
I don't know. But just tell Aaron the following rules.
White out.
So wear white if you're going to the Aztec game.
Cheer for the Aztecs.
Cheer for the Aztecs. Be loud.
Okay.
Like, the crowd's a factor. I need to see Jim getting I need to see you riling up your section. Yeah.
Be that guy.
I want you to be that guy.
Be that guy that stands up and just like, come on, everybody.
And then
stand on your feet.
And then I need people taking a photo of the back of Jim's head and be like, I couldn't see the game.
I'll just wear a hat.
Good idea.
Yeah.
All right, so Rocco Miller, bracketologist, will join us coming up at 2:30. He's really good with all this stuff. He's one of the highest regarded bracketologists. I need to hear from him where San Diego State stands because I just don't know.
Give you comfort.
I don't know if talk me off the ledge is the right term, but everyone take a deep breath. Like Brent just mentioned this, and we'll get back to Jose Iglesias.
We have plenty of time.
We have plenty of time. We're here all week. Okay, the season doesn't start for 22 days. Okay, I got some of this on the text line last night. And I understand being a fan, which by definition means you're fanatical. That's a great thing. It's way better than apathy. I'd much prefer people care. That's the beauty of the Padres. People care.
Yep.
That's the beauty of San Diego State. People care. Listen to this text, though. This is a bridge too far, folks. 858. Unfortunately, this is the demise/downfall of the Aztecs basketball program. They likely will not make the tournament unless they win the Mountain West tournament. As predicted, NIL will make this program slowly slip into irrelevance like the football team already is and should be an FCS program. I mean, I don't even know where you go with that. They're 20-8 as one of the youngest teams in America. They've overcome a significant injury all year. They haven't had one of their best players, if not their best player, in Reese Waters.
And they just suffered another significant injury to
Magoon Waters. 4 games. He's like their best two-way player. They're 2-2 with him out. It's a significant loss. Yeah. Like, if you think 20-8 and on the cusp of potentially reaching an NCAA tournament, and they may not. I can't assure you that they will. They may not. But if you think this represents the demise of a program, when that doesn't make any sense. Like the University of Miami was in a Final Four 2 years ago. They have 5 wins. And there's ebbs and flows here. UConn wasn't in the tournament with Dan Hurley a couple of times. You know what I mean? Not every team makes the tournament every year. I'm all for high expectations. I think it's a good thing. People want to see San Diego State in the tournament. You and I included, Brent as well. And they could end up in the tournament, or they might not. We don't know. But to pretend like losing on senior night at UNLV represents the demise of a program, every night I'm watching these games, Arkansas lost by 30 to South Carolina on the weekend. Is that the demise of Coach Cal and Arkansas basketball? Are they going to get rid of the 40 minutes of hell banners in Fayetteville? Maybe. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Back in the day?
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. I don't even know what I'm talking about. But can you react to that?
I'm just letting you cook, man.
Do you agree, though? I mean, it's the demise of the program because they lost to UNLV last night.
No, it's not even close to the demise of the Aztecs basketball program because they lost on the road to UNLV. Give me a break. That person is just very upset.
Which is fine.
It's fine. And when you're upset, you say things that A, either you don't mean, or B, are so far out of left field that it just doesn't make sense at all. When I'm upset about my sporting teams, yes, do I go bridge too far sometimes? I do.
I get it.
I get upset. And then you calm down and you're like, oh, that was stupid. especially in college basketball, guys. Stop. Give me a break. I mean, are you really going to go out on a limb after they just made back-to-back Sweet 16 appearances?
I feel like it's over.
Went to the national championship game a couple years ago. Brian Dutcher is regarded as one of the best coaches in college basketball. They lost to UNLV on the road on a Tuesday night. Demise of the program. Season's over. Blow it all up. Fire Dutch.
2 road loss. Everyone's got to go. It just doesn't work as simply as that.
They're on the cusp of making the tournament for a third straight year?
No, it'd be fifth and sixth if you include 30-2.
And if they win Saturday night, they have
feel decent about their chances. Yeah.
And if they have a good showing in the Mountain West Conference tournament, which is very realistic, you feel really good. And then hopefully you get Magoon Guath back. Hopefully you get in. Who cares about the seeding this year for this Aztec team?
And then you just win like 6 or 7 straight games and everything's fine.
Yeah, and you may win a national title. It's okay.
And then what about the demise?
Right. Yeah, back in your face, 619 number, whatever number you have.
All right, I'm going to talk demise guy off the ledge with Rocco Miller, bracketologist. Now, I don't know where Rocco has the Aztecs. I have no idea. He might have him as last 4 in, first 4 out. Off the bubble, on the bubble. Rocco Miller, bracketologist, will join us on the other side. We'll get back to Jose Iglesias. We promise. We're here until 6 p.m. It's Jon and Jim.
All right, this update's brought to you by Staples Stores. We'll start with the Aztecs. Last night, losing on the road to UNLV 74-67. They got swept in their season series by UNLV. Next up, they'll take on Nevada for senior night this Saturday at Viejas Arena. 7:30 tip time, 6:30 pregame. Listen right here on San Diego Sports 760. Padres news of the day. They signed former Met infielder Jose Iglesias to a minor league deal with the chance of it becoming a major league contract. And NFL news of the day, the Raiders have signed defensive end Max Crosby to a 3-year, $106.5 million contract extension with $91 million guaranteed. And this update's been brought to you by Staples.
All right, I need to hear from Rocco Miller. I texted him at like 8 a.m. I dropped off my son this morning. I'm like, I need a well-regarded bracketologist to give me a feel for where the Aztecs are right now. Now, they're coming off a loss at UNLV. Last night, swept by the Rebels this year. San Diego State's been without Magoon, still 20-8 overall. So, Rocco Miller, bracketologist, bracketeer.org, back with us, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. So I guess I'll put it this way, Rocco. Just give me like the good, bad, ugly as it relates to San Diego State here in early March.
Yeah, I know it doesn't taste good after a loss, but I think, it's always good to remind yourself every day or even after every game ends is that, one game is only representative of, one of 31 games that you play. And it's a body of work exercise when it comes to comparing teams for at-large selections. And then, of course, seeding comes after that. So just some basics there. But I understand for sure losing twice to UNLV doesn't feel great. But I think, when it comes down to it right now in today's bubble picture, there's not many teams, if there's really nobody that has a top 3 win, and San Diego State does. Houston's a clear top three team in every measurable way. And they back that up with the win over Creighton in that same event. And then within the league, you've beaten New Mexico and Boise State both at home. Boise State's squeezing in to the latest projection, so we'll see if they last or not as a tournament level team. But UC San Diego, of course, also a tournament level team that they beat on opening night. So even though all that stuff, a lot of those big pieces of silver or gold occurred a long time ago, it counts the same to the committee as if it happened yesterday. So I think those are the reassuring pieces. I think one of the things that maybe is working a little bit against the Aztecs right now is a key category for the bubble is top 2 quadrant road games. They fell now to 2 and 4. Of course, one of those being at Boise State helps quite a bit with them being considered, and then the other one being Nevada. But I also would say on the plus side, overall record away from the Viejas Center is 9-5. So that's good compared to most bubble teams. So I think right now I still feel pretty solidly that San Diego State has a place in the tournament, but it's seeming a little bit more likely they would need to start the tournament in Dayton versus a regular slotted place in the bracket.
When it comes to bid stealers, there's bid stealers every single year here, Rocco. How worried should Aztecs fans and the Aztecs be about potential bid stealers for their chance to make the tournament?
So moderately, I guess, is the right answer, mainly because the other teams, near that cutoff, it's hard to see it in the forecast because selection and seeding are two different things. So right now, the Aztecs are not in the greatest position for seeding. Their numbers continue to tank when it comes to things like Ken Palm and the Net and Torvik, which is frustrating for seeding, I'm sure, for Aztec fans. But what needs to be actually looked at and focused on is the resume, because that's all that matters for getting in. And right now, their resume is still on way more solid footing than, a team like Arkansas, who just played their way back in the field. And once they're back in the field, they're going to shoot past San Diego State from a seeding exercise standpoint, but they're not on as solid of ground as San Diego State because they're so close to having a losing record in key areas, which they had before yesterday's win at Vanderbilt. Just as an easy example. Then you have your Xaviers, your North Carolinas, your Indianas, and your Boise States of the world, where they don't have a win over Houston or even a win over Creighton on a neutral court level of win to point back to. Carolina does have the win over UCLA, but they've lost so many games that you would much rather have a San Diego State resume in the field over North Carolina. So I don't think the Aztecs are at risk of losing those types of comparisons. And that's why I think there's going to be a home for them no matter. I can't ever say no matter what, because we don't know how many bids are going to get stolen. But San Diego State is ahead of Xavier, North Carolina, Indiana, Boise on the pecking order for sure at this stage.
So Rocco Miller, Bracketeer.org with us right now, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Is there something other than winning, obviously, a conference tournament that truly punches their ticket? If they were to beat Nevada at home, for example, on Saturday, which is, of course, an important game, how would you feel at that point? Again, there's some things outside of everyone's control, like bid stealing that can happen. But if they beat Nevada at home, will they still have work to do in your mind, or will they be pretty comfortable at that point?
Yeah, it's a trick question, but I think they win that Nevada, get the Nevada win at home, and watch some carnage occur across the country. You know, some of those bubble teams, and this happens every year. A lot of bubble teams will play themselves out. Last night there was actually a couple teams that stepped up.
Yep.
But we saw Nebraska. Nebraska played themselves out. They were in before that game. And now them and Ohio State have work to do from the Big Ten. That's an easy example. Indiana, if they have to travel back east now and play Ohio State, that will be a key game. The loser of that game will be out, right? So it's constantly moving around San Diego State. I think the important part is you just hold serve, handle your business against Nevada, and then there's really no reason to keep going back under the hood. Now, the loss last night, the committee doesn't meet till next Wednesday. But I'm starting a mock committee starting tomorrow. You can check that out on YouTube. We'll be on all weekend, the next 4 days. But where I'm sitting, if San Diego State loses, you got to go back under the hood and re-examine and see where they're at. If they're just holding serve with home wins, or even like that quarterfinal round, getting a win in Vegas, then they're marching forward and they'll find a place into the bracket.
Rocco Miller with us right now on Jon and Jim. From an injury perspective, San Diego State's kind of unique because they've been without Reese Waters all year. He's not coming back. So I guess that kind of is what it is. It happens. But they've been without one of their arguably their best two-way player in this redshirt freshman, Magoon Guath, who had really taken strides throughout his season. And then he hyperextends his knee at Utah State. And if you include that game, I think they're 2-2. In their last 4 games. Now, Brian Dutcher said they're hopeful to get him back. They could get him back Saturday. It might be the Mountain West tournament. It might be the NCAA tournament if they make it. Is that a consideration when it comes to the selection committee, when it comes to either teams in or out or the seeding of a team or not?
It certainly is. Yeah. And I think it's a good thing you brought that up because, we've seen it every team throughout the year goes through injuries, but I think the important ones are the ones where you have a player who's missed a certain amount of games. And of course, in Guath's case, he's missed a couple so far and he has the potential to come back. If he was done for the year and the team was not performing near the level they were performing before, then that's something that the committee can use to their discretion. It could help, it could hurt. It can go both ways, right? That could actually kind of forgive a loss like yesterday. If let's say Guath comes back this weekend, plays well against Nevada, and he's clearly back 25 plus minutes, et cetera, right? If it goes the other way and he keeps missing games and San Diego State keeps playing not up to their standard, then it can be scrutinized in kind of a negative way. I used to not put as much weight on it because there is so much information you already have with the amount of games you've played and who you've beat and who you've lost to. That is still going to be the most important factor. But we did see that one year, I think it was Bonzie Colston, maybe like 2018 Notre Dame, that he was out most of the year. He came back at the end. Notre Dame looked a lot better. And the committee almost put them in. They were the first team out. So I think for guys like me who are really in this to just tell the public what the committee is discussing, what they're valuing, what they're not valuing, that was a big eye opener. And so, when we go through our mock committee exercise starting tomorrow night, I represent the Mountain West and I represent the Big West and I represent the other West Coast leagues as well, Big Sky, et cetera. So those are things that I'm going to have to be presenting to the rest of the group, and we go through it just like the real committee does.
All right. Well, speaking of the Big West, I think we asked you about UC San Diego the last time we had you on, maybe a month ago. I mean, it's been an incredible year. That goes without saying, but that doesn't necessarily mean they'll be in the NCAA tournament if they don't win their conference tournament. So how do you see it right now with the Tritons, who have played incredibly well, but of course don't necessarily have that strength of schedule to represent, what they've been able to accomplish maybe to this point.
Yeah, I think the big feather in the cap for the Tritons is that win at Utah State. So they're the biggest Utah State fans in the world. When Utah State went to Colorado State last weekend and lost by 27, I think Triton fans, those paying attention closely might have taken a little bit of a big gulp. But Utah State is even in better position than San Diego State to at least be selected. And I think that's a big difference because if anybody's trying to compare UC San Diego to last year's Indiana State, who was left out, I think that's a mistake because one of the most important things for a team to be able to get in from a mid-major league like the Big West level, you have to be able to demonstrate wins against the field. If you don't, then it's very subjective from there. It's impossible to compare your results to the upper echelon of college basketball. So that win at Utah State, and then they backed that up with the win at UC Irvine, which is a big-time quality win, winning that by 18. I was at that game. It was an amazing performance, 16 threes. And then you look through their top two quadrants, they only had 5 opportunities so far. They might get another one late, but they're 3-2, so they won over half of them. It's such a tiny sample size. And you go a length lower to the quad 3 results, and they're 10-3. And they did have the one quad 4 loss with Seattle University, but that's a very talented Seattle team. They beat Washington, they beat other teams. I think UC San Diego, especially compared to with the messiness of the bubble, is still a safe pick based on that win at Utah State. I just think, if bids start getting stolen, that it's going to be harder and harder to defend them, especially if they lose. And the only way they're in that position is, of course, if they lose in the Big West tournament.
Right. Like in the championship game to Irvine. All right. Here's my last one, Rocco, and we appreciate the time because this is like kind of my worst case scenario and would be so like San Diego. San Diego's never had 2 teams in the NCAA tournament, but then again, there was never UCSD, but USD and SDSU have never been in the tournament the same year. If it came down to San Diego State and UCSD, if it was as simple as that, there's one spot for 2 teams. Who's going and why? It's San Diego State based on head-to-head and strength of schedule, or what would happen if that played out?
I think the head-to-head helps a little bit, but when it's on one of the team's home court, you try not to focus on that too much. You probably shouldn't focus on it too much anyway, unless it's a neutral court and everything else is pretty even. I would say just because San Diego State beat Houston, that's such a game changer. There's only 3 teams in the sport with big time power numbers. Look at KenPom as an easy example. They're far and away, them, Auburn, and Duke, the best 3 in the sport. So just the fact that San Diego State's demonstrated that level of ceiling, although it was so long ago, it still matters the same. They probably have the stronger foundation. And I think it's easier for the committee publicly to let a team from the Big West go to the NIT. As sad as that sounds, because I do believe UC San Diego has been the more aesthetically pleasing team to watch. They're a very special story. And I think the way they play would give a lot of teams in the actual March Madness problems, and that they could advance into the second weekend or further. So let's hope that doesn't happen. But I'm giving you a committee's perspective there.
Well, we'd like to see them both in.
Of course.
And of course, there's still a world as we sit here on this March 5th where neither are in because that's, it's March Madness. So we'll see if San Diego State can finish this thing off. We'll see if UC San Diego can do the same come next weekend. Rocco, always appreciate it. Great work. Field of 68, Bracketeer.org. I'll be watching you two for 4 straight days. Jim looked at me when you said that. I'm like, I'll be watching. I promise you.
You'll be glued to your YouTube channel.
I'll be glued to it. Thanks, Rocco. Enjoy the next 10 or so days.
Yeah, thanks, guys. And text me with any Mountain West notes if you catch anything while I'm on YouTube. That. I appreciate it.
I will do that. Thank you, Rocco. Rocco Miller, Bracketeer.org. We'll get back to this Jose Iglesias signing for the Padres. What does it mean? On the other side, here until 6 p.m., we'll tell you about our giveaways today as well. It's Jon and Jim. right, so if you want to listen to Ted Leitner's final regular season game, make sure to download the all-new iHeartRadio app and then put San Diego Sports 760 in your presets. Put Jon and Jim in your presets as well. So Ted's final game as the voice of the Aztecs will be Saturday. In terms of the regular season, his final game at Viejas Arena will be Saturday. That is senior night. Jim will be there. I don't know if that like Mars
Wouldn't miss it for the world, John.
Ted's final game or senior night or just
Both. All of it. Senior night, Ted, all of it.
I saw people doing this. I think yesterday there were people on a message group saying, you know what? Because this is Ted's final road game, I am going to listen on the app. I'm going to line up the television with the app.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have Ted's call for the entirety of the game because I'm only going to get to do this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever number of times from here on out.
Right.
So that's an opportunity Saturday as well. You download the app and then you just kind of pause the television and make sure the app is lined up with the TV.
It takes a little bit of
Ted. It doesn't take that much.
It would take you a while.
It would take me an hour and a half.
Correct.
But for most people, you could do it in 1 or 2 minutes.
Right. Yeah. But there's a lot of people out there like you, though.
That are idiots?
No, I didn't say that. I didn't tell people idiots. I'm just saying that technology is not their friend.
Anyway, download the app. You can listen to San Diego State, football, basketball, San Diego FC, Jon and Jim, of course, weekdays from 2 to 6 p.m. as well.
Listen to us.
Listen to us. Listen to us on San Diego Sports 760. We have Shamrock Music and Beer Festival tickets to give away. We've got some concert tickets to give away here today. Kevin Acee will join us coming up at 4:30. Oh, we do have Aztec tickets.
Oh, must be nice.
Oh, let's bury the lead again. Okay, hold on.
Pause.
Here's what I want to do for the Aztec tickets because Jim walked me through this. Can we do what do you want to do? Because this is senior night. This is the last game of the year.
I know. Well, since we just found this out,
Right.
We're going to talk about it during the break.
Okay, and then we'll let you know.
And we'll let you know at 3:00 how you can win Aztec tickets to senior night. Because this is a big ticket. It's going to be a great night. It's a whiteout senior night, Saturday night. So we will let you know how you can win these tickets coming up at 3:00 today.
Yeah, I kind of have an idea.
I do too, but let's talk about it.
We'll talk about
it
the break. We'll talk about it at the break. So the Padres were rallying in the 9th inning today. They just cannot win in the Cactus League.
Rally fell short. They lost again.
So they lose to the Rockies. The Rockies are the best team in Cactus League history. They're like stacked. It's a historic run that the Rockies are on. I don't know what they are, like 9-3. And the Padres are what, 3-9? Padres are 3-9-1 this spring. Jim spent 20 minutes trying to be real yesterday, saying like this is going to impact the regular season, but he couldn't even get through saying that. Padres lose again. Is there anything good that comes out of this, though? Pitching performance or I have no idea.
Will the Padres win another Cactus League game?
Ever?
Like, is that a legitimate question or not?
No, probably not. Let's see. Today, here's the story. This is all that matters. Michael King goes 2 scoreless innings. So there's some encouraging things that have happened actually over these losses. Nick Pivetta yesterday, 2 2/3 scoreless innings. Michael King today, 2 scoreless innings. Robert Suarez, a scoreless inning. Like, I'm looking for the positives here. I don't care about the 28th position player, you know? So I'm more concerned about like Tatis had a hit today. Great. That's wonderful.
What'd your boy Tyler Wade do? Or my boy, I guess. Was he out there?
Wadey did not maybe appear of the 50 people that appeared in this game. Are you worried about Xander Bogaerts?
Man, this box score, dude. I mean,
It is a big box score.
I mean, what are we doing? So you had some regulars out there.
A lot of regulars.
Are you concerned at all that Xander Bogaerts is hitting 167 in spring?
Yes. No, I'm not.
Are you concerned that Jason Hayward does not have a hit in spring yet?
No. Are you?
He's not putting up great at bats. Are you worried that Elias Diaz is hitting 143 in spring?
No, I mean, how many at bats did these
And
guys
Luis
have?
Campusano's hitting 182?
No, none of these guys have more than 14 plate appearances.
What about Eggy Rosario, who had 3 at bats today, but he's hitting 174 on the Cactus League year? Is
I'm
that
not
bad?
worried about any of it.
Your boy Oscar Gonzalez continues to hitting 348. Jake Cronenworth, an abysmal 154
Abysmal.
with a OPS of 368. How's that even possible?
No, I'm not. Honestly, here's what I like.
Gavin Sheets.
I like Michael King.
Like Gavin sucks.
Stop. I like Michael King. I like Nick Pivetta. I'm fine. If the starting pitchers are good, I'm fine with everything else. I don't care if they don't win another Cactus League game. But they will.
Who is Jake Higginbotham?
You know.
Jake Higginbotham?
Yeah, you know.
Well, he had an awful day. Gave up 2 runs in 2/3 of an inning. Got the loss.
That's why the results don't mean anything. We're never going to see this guy.
Jake Higginbotham.
Right?
I've literally, no joke, I have never heard of Jake Higginbotham ever in my entire life until right this very moment.
I think we said his name once.
I've never said Jake Higginbotham.
That doesn't just roll off the tongue.
I kind of like the name, though, if I'm saying it correctly.
He went to Hogwarts, right?
Nah.
Well, we'll see what Kevin has to say about the 3-9 start.
And the guy has a 3 whip. Like, that's a problem.
Well, it's like 1 inning, dude.
Actually, it wasn't an inning because he only pitched 2/3 of an inning.
So it's like 2/3 of an inning.
And actually, he's pitched 3 1/3 innings this spring. He has a 10 ERA. Not great, John.
I can't react to it. I have no reaction.
3-9 in spring.
They got a tie.
3-9-1 in spring.
What's their losing streak at? 6 consecutive games? I think it is.
So, yeah, that's
they had the tie, but
no, they beat the White Sox.
Oh, did they?
Last Wednesday.
Well, that's a week ago.
Listen to this. Here's their record. Loss, win. Loss, tie, loss.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Their last 7 games, right?
They started 2-0 in Cactus League.
We're all like 1-9.
We're all sitting here like, this is the greatest Cactus League team ever assembled.
I think they're probably playing for Cactus League lottery picks to reload in the Cactus League for 2026.
I just, whatever.
It means nothing. All right, on the other side, we'll let you know how to win Aztec basketball tickets for senior night. That's this Saturday, a must-win game for San Diego State at home against Nevada. We'll tell you how to win those tickets on the other side. Plus, Kevin Acee will join us coming up at 4:30. We're here until 6, Jon and Jim.
All right, this update is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. We'll start with the Aztecs. They lost last night on the road to UNLV 74-67. Next up, they'll take on Nevada for senior night this Saturday at Viejas Arena. 7:30 tip, 6:30 pregame. Listen right here on San Diego Sports 760. Padres news of the day. They have signed former Mets infielder Jose Iglesias to a minor league deal with the chance of it becoming a major league contract. And NFL news of the day, the Raiders have signed defensive end Max Crosby to a 3-year, $106.5 million contract extension with $91 million guaranteed. Daylight savings time is here to bring one less hour of sleep. The 5 Hour Energy team has your time change solutions. Limited edition 1 hour energy shots, a tiny version of the shot you love, designed to help you conquer the time change. For more information, visit 5hourenergy.com/DST.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 2 of Jon and Jim. And on cue from that take yesterday, AJ Preller's added depth with Jose Iglesias. And we've been talking about the addition of the middle infielder, what it means for the Padres in 2025. But, all right, we have figured out what we want to do. But before we do it, Jim, I need to mention this. So we have Aztec basketball tickets for Saturday night. This is senior night, final regular season game this year at Viejas Arena, right?
Yeah.
So it's this whiteout, and the seniors will be honored before the game. It's going to be a great, great night, and it's basically a must-win game for San Diego State. But Larry Joe has chimed in off the text line, Jim, 951. He says, Larry Joe here. Good afternoon, gentlemen. I think to give us on the app a chance to win those Aztec tickets, since there's a little bit of a delay, request for some type of contest that involves the talkback. Now, we're not going to do that, but we can wait, right? How does this work?
Here's the deal. Today we're going to be doing the sounder. To Larry Joe's point, we can talk about it, and we can potentially do a giveaway through the
Talkback
tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay.
We're doing this all on the fly. I know we had tickets, so like we're trying to figure this out. But
okay, so not today, Larry Joe, but here's what we're going to do. You're going to hear an Aztec sounder. This is what it sounds like.
Miles Byrd.
Now, do not call now. That's Ted saying Miles Byrd. When you hear that, call, and you'll be qualified to win 2 free tickets for senior night. We'll qualify someone this hour, next hour, and in the 5 p.m. hour. Then we're going to choose one of you as the winner of the 2 tickets. So just because you qualify doesn't mean you win. But we'll qualify someone this hour, next hour, and the 5 o'clock hour. And then in the 5:30 segment, we'll let you know who among those 3 qualifiers has won the tickets for senior night. Do not call now, but here's the number to write down: 877-767-4760. So put that on your phone, 877-767-4760. The next time you hear
Miles Byrd.
Again, do not call now, but the next time you hear that, it could be during a break, right? Could be during the ads. It could be during the show, but you will hear that again this hour. And when you hear it, call 877-767-4760. And the first caller, well, is it going to be the first caller? Or are we going to clear the lines for 1 minute? We'll clear the lines for 1+ minute. That allows then people listening on the app to call in. Then Brent will pick up a random line, and that person will be qualified. So there'll be 3 qualifiers, 1 winner today. And then if you don't win today, we'll have more tickets for you tomorrow.
yeah, I think we'll have a couple pairs of tickets tomorrow. So,
Okay.
Keep listening for your chances to win again today. Listen for that sounder. When you hear that sounder, call in to 877-767-4760. Brent picks you. You're then qualified, and we'll announce the winner of those tickets today at 5:30.
This is a really good giveaway. We had a great giveaway last week with the SDFC debut tickets at Snapdragon Stadium. This is it when it comes to seeing the Aztecs at home this year. I
actually saw the winner of our STFC tickets, Mark, and I saw
you took a photo with him.
Yeah.
He took a photo with you.
Yeah. So it was great seeing him. And glad he enjoyed that. So yeah.
You know what's interesting when I think about, we always joke it's like a radio bit for Jon and Jim. Is this a must-win game? We say for the Padres in the Cactus League. We say for the Aztecs when they play November 10th, right? Mm-hmm. We've actually reached the point in the year where I could certainly argue that Saturday is a true must-win game. Now, their season isn't over if they lose. So you could say, well, must-win is actually Mountain West Tournament, potentially. That's fair, because if you lose the game, you're out of the Mountain West Tournament, and we'll see about Selection Sunday. But, isn't this as close to it really gets to a must-win game Saturday against Nevada?
Bro, they lose against Nevada. Their basically only path is, I think, got to win the Mountain West Conference.
You may have to. You may have to at that point.
I mean, that Houston win might just carry them all the way to the tournament, even if it's in Dayton, even if it's in,
first four.
The first four. But still, I think if you just make if you made the first four, I said right now, John, lock it in, make the first four. Would you sign up?
100%.
Okay.
Because right now we're playing a high stakes game of poker.
Correct.
There are no limits here, right? This isn't $2, $4 blinds.
Right.
Okay. This is no limit. And when you're playing that type of poker, I'm sorry, it's a survive and advance business, right? If I'm playing in Vegas, whatever that is, the World Series of Poker.
Yeah.
I just want to hang around as long as possible. And then all of a sudden I win a hand and I got more chips and things, all of a sudden things turn in your favor, but you got to keep winning hands. So yes, if you have a seat at the table, there have been teams to go first four to final four.
UCLA.
Again, I'm not predicting that's going to happen. Right. VCU has done it. UCLA, to your point, has done it.
And it still counts if they win in the first four is a tournament win.
And it actually garners shares and revenue for their league, which, they're going to be switching leagues, but still probably creates some revenue as well for the league or San Diego
just makes
State.
It difficult. Instead of only having to win 2 games to reach the Sweet 16, you got to win 3.
But we've seen over the years, the teams that do win in Dayton
have momentum just because they
don't have the nerves heading into the round of 64.
Right.
It's almost like you're already ready to take your best punch because it's house money, to continue to use a poker analogy. If you get out of the first four and then all of a sudden you go from the first four in Dayton to the round of 64, making it up in Providence, Rhode Island. At that point, it's house money, man. Hey, you're coming off a win. You go in with a little bit of momentum. It's you have a running start. The other team is standing pat. So I would take anything. Now, beggars choosers, I'd prefer they don't have to play in the first four.
For sure. You'd rather have them be slotted in as a 10 or a 9, right? And then you feel, okay, here we go. Because if they do slot in as a 9 seed, right, then they would take on, if they win that game, they would take on the potential number 1 seed in their bracket.
Yeah, it could be like Auburn.
That would be incredible.
Historically good
or Houston
team.
Again.
Yeah,
maybe.
Could be. Duke with Cooper Flagg.
Right.
Who's going to be potentially the top pick in the draft in a couple of months.
That'd be something.
Yeah, there's something to be said for avoiding the 8-9, but there's something also to be said for making it. Just wherever they're slotted. If it's Dayton, if it's the Moon, I don't think the Moon is hosting a regional this year, but wherever they would be slotted, I think you sign up for it.
Could you imagine if they hosted a game on the Moon?
Oh my gosh, there's no gravity. There'd be so many dunks.
What would you rather have? Have a game be hosted on an aircraft carrier again or the Moon? Probably the Moon, right?
Yeah, Moon, because they haven't won.
The win on the aircraft carrier is not great.
Let me find this note. I want to find something for you, which again doesn't mean a lot coming off a loss. And I would need to find the email. What day is it, Jim?
Wednesday.
Okay. So listen to this.
Okay.
Listen to this for a second. Miles Byrd, right? And when you hear that sound, you're going to call in to qualify to win those tickets. Listen to this. Now, I get it. It came at a loss, and it was not a great shooting night for Miles, right? I think he was 2 for 10 from 3.
Wasn't great.
But can you listen to this ridiculousness? This speaks to the impact that Miles Byrd can have on any game. He is the first player in the history of the Mountain West and the 3rd player in the nation since 1996. So that's like when Jim was like a little Jim. To do this, 15 points with multiple threes, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 steals, and 3 blocks or more. So the first Mountain West player ever with 15 with multiple threes, 10 rebounds, 6 or more assists, 4 or more steals, 3 or more blocks in a game. My point is, he's such a unicorn. He is such a unicorn. Now, again, this was not his best game. He did not shoot the ball well. He was 2 of 10 from 3, and they didn't win. So at the end of the day, what does it really mean? I'm just saying his ability to impact the game is truly unique. And hopefully we see it Saturday. And if it's not Saturday, it's in Las Vegas in the Mountain West tournament. We've had him on. I think we had him on a week ago. And he talked about some of his struggles, I think. But he's played better here recently. Again, he didn't shoot it well and they didn't win. But again, like with Magoon, we'll see if they get him back with Miles. Like they got some guys that they're just special, and you hope to get their best when it matters potentially the most, which is this time of year.
The one thing I've loved about Miles Byrd is the jump that he has taken from last year to this year.
Sure.
Now he does have off nights. That's what happens to young players. Like no one's going to be, 25 a night, right? On this team, he could put up 25, but every single night, that's tough to do. What I'm excited about, yes, this year's not done yet. I get that. But if he truly does return next year, the jump I want to see from this year to next, if he keeps making these sizable jumps from like his first year at San Diego State to last year where he was a rotation player and had some big moments, right? Some moments where he could build off of, up into this year where he is a crucial, vital piece to this team, starter, to next year, like, you see the progression of Miles Byrd. And if, he does return next year, what you're hoping to see is that next step. And right now, dude's averaging what? Almost 14 points per game?
Yeah, somewhere in there, yeah.
So, like, you take that, add a couple, like, next year averages 16, 17, 18 points a game. Like, that's Mountain West level, a Mountain West player of the year level.
Pairing potentially with Reese Waters.
Yeah.
Again, you want to see them in the NCAA tournament right now, and you also have one eye towards the future as well, because that's just how sports work. All right, when you hear the sounder, remember to call 877-767-4760 to qualify for your chance to win 2 free tickets to senior night for the Aztecs against Nevada this Saturday at 7:30. On the other side, the Padres signed veteran infielder Jose Iglesias today. Why, and what does it mean for the rest of their infielders and bench? That's next on Jon and Jim. right, AM radio keeps vital voices accessible. Congress can secure its future, but we need your help. Text AM to 52886 now to support keeping AM radio in cars. Tell your member of Congress to pass legislation now and keep AM radio in cars. Standard message and data rates apply. Remember, when you hear the Miles Byrd sounder, call 877-767-4760. You'll qualify for a chance to win 2 free tickets to San Diego State, Nevada Senior Night, the final game of the regular season at home, Saturday night at 7:30 p.m. All right, so to kind of break down what Jose Iglesias means for the Padres and their infielders and the season, well, we'll have Kevin Acee do that deeper dive coming up at 4:30, but you start like crunching out why. Like when I think about where they were with middle infielders, was that an area of need? And the answer to me would be maybe from a depth perspective, not necessarily starters. Like I wasn't thinking about going into the year like who's going to start for them at second base. That wasn't one of my questions heading into the year. Who's going to start for them at short, but who's going to play against lefties or who's going to come off their bench? I guess maybe it answers some of that, a signing like this, or maybe there's some type of roster crunch as well that occurs because you add Iglesias and then you remove someone else.
All right, let's break this down.
Let's break it down.
So this is all their infielders as of right now. Connor Joe, Luis Arise, Jake Cronenworth, Xander Bogaerts, Tyler Wade, Eggy Rosario, Manny Machado, Jose Iglesias. Am I missing anybody?
Oh, what could this mean for Manny, you're thinking?
No,
Right?
No. Am I missing anybody?
I don't think you are. As I read through this, I don't think you are.
Okay. Is there an odd man out there?
Is there an odd man out?
Yuli Gurriel. Sorry. Gavin Sheets. They're like kind of bubble guys, right? Those are a couple other names.
Yep. Well, they're first baseman DH types, right?
Yuli Gurriel and Gavin Sheets, yeah. But like
Sheets is played in right.
Okay.
So where we're going with this is what? Like who would be crunched in this equation? I don't think Tyler Wade, because that's like Schulte's guy.
They freaking love this guy.
Connor Joe, maybe, I guess.
But he's a San Diego kid, John.
Well, I thought he was Mr. Platoon initially.
Yeah, I thought he was left field, first base.
I mean, does Iglesias start the year in the minor leagues? Because he only gets the major league deal if he's in the major leagues. It's a $3 million deal. And I think there's some opt-outs if he's not in the majors by a certain date.
Here's where I'm going with this.
Okay.
I'm going to put my tinfoil cap on.
Ooh.
All right. Is Preller looking to move a player in the infield? And by a player, I mean Jake Cronenworth. Getting off that contract. His production every single year in the big leagues has dropped. If you had Iglesias out there, we know Luis Arise has stated he wants to play second base. He feels comfortable at second base. But Jake Cronenworth is their second baseman. They have Connor Joe. They have Yuli Gurriel for first base. Is there a trade out there, John, that AJ Preller's looking to make or not?
I mean, it's an interesting question. I wouldn't think so, truthfully. I wouldn't think so, because am I banking on Iglesias to be an everyday player from AJ Preller? Because if I'm trading away a regular.
But you're not going to have him play every day, because you'd have Luis Arise play every day with Iglesias behind him. Also, you have Connor Joe.
Right.
You have Eggy Rosario, and you have Yuli Gurriel. And those guys cost you nothing.
So move Cronenworth because you have Arise, essentially. And now this kind of becomes like a backfill in Iglesias in the middle of your infield.
I think Jake could still give this team value. I mean, he had 17 home runs last year and 83 RBI.
Mm-hmm.
But he just couldn't hit lefties. Like, he just can't hit lefties at all.
Well, perfect. So this guy can play against lefties and Jake can play against righties.
So you're going to platoon a guy with
that's making that money?
Yeah.
Better than not hitting against left-handed pitching.
I agree.
$3 million.
I agree. But the value of Jake is to be an everyday player with that contract. If he's not an everyday player, that contract looks bad.
Yeah, I agree. I think it could look bad, though, even if he is an everyday player. So it's like
Yeah.
if it already looks bad,
but it looks worse
Are
if
they
you turn
gonna
him into
be-
platoon guy.
but are they going to be like Platoon USA? Are they going to try to platoon their way through left field and platoon their way through first base and platoon their way through second base?
Probably. Like it's one of those like throw the pasta on the wall and see which pasta sticks.
Or, yeah, I agree with that. But, or it's like, hey, we know that we don't have the exact same depth or roster we had a year ago. So let's,
Have as much
on the
depth as
margins, our way to another win or two. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, like what's it going to take to get to 87 wins or 88 wins? Let's get unconventional. Let's do things that we haven't previously done before. And here's our platoon lineup. Again, a year ago, I wasn't saying that. Jerks and Profar just played. But now it's like, well, you don't have Jerks and Profar. So now you're going to split time in left field. And now you're going to split time potentially at second base. Should Jake Cronenworth really be playing every day if he can't hit left-handed pitching? That answer's easy.
It's no.
I like that signing from that perspective. I hadn't really thought about the fact that you could just turn Cronenworth into a platoon player. You were kind of thinking about moving Cronenworth, which I think has validity. I'm thinking about it now, what you just said, just platoon him.
Okay.
Just sit him against left-handed pitching.
Okay.
I get it. He makes money, but it doesn't change what he's making. They're already paying him it.
Because who will be the starter, presumably, that they'll face on opening day? Chris Sale.
Right. There you
so
go. Jose Iglesias, come on down with your 2 for 5. If he's 400.
Yeah. Is Jose Iglesias going to be in the starting lineup on opening day? If he makes
Over
his team?
Crony?
Yeah, because Crone can't hit lefties.
Maybe not on opening day, but I would say yes.
Jackson Merrill is going to just be hitting third all year long against lefties? Probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
But after that, Jake can't hit lefties. And then you're going to need someone behind him. I agree with you.
Yeah.
If you're going to keep Jake on this team, you have to have probably some tough conversations. And you're going to have to be like, look, we want to maximize the value that we want from you. And by doing that, by trying to maximize it, you are turning into a platoon against righties because you will become much more valuable if you only play against righties than if you play every day. You play every day against lefties, like it's just going to be like last year where, the dude just at times just you couldn't put him in the lineup. It was bad.
Yeah.
Did he give you production? Yeah, he gave you 17 home runs and 83 RBI. That's great. But we know if a dude can't hit a lefty or a righty, he's going to be exposed. And when those things happen, those players have to turn into platoons. And so if, this organization thinks so highly of Jake to be an everyday player, someone's going to have to step in and be like, I don't know if that's a good idea or not.
Yeah, I just don't like trying to force a circle through a square. If you can't hit left-handed pitching, then go find someone that can, right? You've already signed him to the contract. So go figure out a way to make your team better, even if Jake Cronenworth is on your team in 2025. We can continue that conversation, plus get to some of your texts on this. 70470, start it with the word team. Plus, when you hear that sounder, the Miles Byrd sounder from Ted Leitner, remember to call 877-767-4760. We'll qualify someone for senior night tickets every hour, this hour, next hour, and the 5 o'clock hour. Among the 3 qualifiers, we will pick one winner coming up in our 5:30 segment. Other great giveaways today, and Kevin Acee at 4:30. This is Jon and Jim.
Miles Byrd.
This update's brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. We'll start with the Aztecs. They lost last night to UNLV 74-67. Next up, they take on Nevada for senior night this Saturday at Viejas Arena, 7:30 tip time, 6:30 pregame. Listen right here on San Diego Sports 760. Padres news of the day. They have signed former Mets infielder Jose Iglesias to a minor league deal with a chance of it becoming a major league contract. And NFL news of the day, the Raiders, they have signed Max Crosby to a 3-year, $106.5 million contract extension with $91 million guaranteed. Daylight savings time is here to bring one less hour of sleep. The 5 Hour Energy team has your time change solution. Limited edition 1 hour energy shots, a tiny version of the shot you love designed to help you conquer the time machine. For more information, visit 5hourenergy.com/DST.
All right, so be listening for that sounder. When you hear it, call 877-767-4760. We'll qualify 2 more listeners between now and 5:30, and then we'll announce the winner of that grand prize, 2 free tickets to see San Diego State take on Nevada this Saturday. So we have our first qualifier. We will have another qualifier, and then another qualifier. Everyone gets a qualification. You get a qualification, Jim.
Well, only 3 people get qualified.
Yes, that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
But only one of you will win. We'll let you know who wins coming up in the 5:30 segment. All right, so this is a trivia question, Jim. We normally do Trainwreck Radio at 4:45, but here's a trivia question for you. Who is the NFL's highest paid non-quarterback?
Well,
the answer is right here.
Yeah, well, I've been saying it during my updates.
I haven't listened to that.
I know you haven't.
I haven't listened to that.
1 second.
So do you know the answer then?
I do. His name is Max Crosby.
3 years, 106.5.
91 guaranteed. 91.
So over 30 a year guaranteed. Higher Max Crosby.
Higher AAV than Nick Bosa. Not overall contract. Nick Bosa has the overall contract, the largest overall contract non-quarterback in NFL history. But Max Crosby now highest AAV of any non-quarterback.
Right, which then includes, like you said, not just Nick Bosa, but then receivers like Justin Jefferson, who's 35 AAV, and this is going to average out at 35.5.
Is he worth that?
Well, that was my next question for you. Now, he's obviously been on a really bad team. The quote from their GM is, I told him last night, this is not for what you've done, it's what you're going to do.
I hope so.
And this, to me, is probably the cost of just doing business with like elite talent in the NFL.
Well, also salary caps, because the NFL is king.
Yeah,
they keep going up.
Going up. Yeah,
I mean, they added another almost $30 million in salary cap this upcoming season.
That's right.
When you have the TV deals that they have and the amount of money that's coming into the league, like that salary cap in a couple of years is going to be fairly large. It's not going down.
So was it, I guess the other question is, like, was it necessary? He had 2 years left on his deal. He's coming off a year in which he had ankle surgery, had 7.5 sacks in 12 games.
Mm-hmm. I think it was necessary from this standpoint. There were rumblings that if he did not get a new contract, he wanted out. And with kind of when you have Mark Davis, everything at any moment could change. You don't have stability in organization when Mark Davis is your owner. Now, they did bring in Pete Carroll, which is a good thing for the Raiders because he's stable. They have Tom Brady now seemingly running the show there, which is very interesting to say the least. But Pete Carroll, Tom Brady, that shows stability. They released Gardner Minshew today. Signs are kind of pointing towards them maybe making a move to get Shedeur Sanders. They have Bowers, who was the best tight end in NFL history last year as far as rookies go.
Right.
They still have a lot of work to do, but you get the quarterback, you have the star tight end, you have a stable coach, at least for the next 3 years. You got Tom Brady in your front office, who brings a lot of credibility to the table. I mean, maybe the Raiders are trying to turn a corner here, but again, it's the Raiders, so who knows?
It would be better when you said, man, they have Tom Brady. I'm like, oh, man, that's a nice quarter. Oh, he's not their quarterback. Sounds good.
He'd probably still be a better quarterback than anything they have.
It's like, oh, they have Tom Brady. So most QB pressures since 2019. Who's number one?
Maybe, I'm going to know, Max Crosby.
Correct. Who's number two?
Nick Bosa.
Who's number three?
Miles Garrett.
Correct. So there's your list.
There
A
you
pretty good list. And Crosby is far and away number one. He's got 40 more pressures than anyone else
Yeah.
in the NFL since 2019. Then there was this from DK Metcalf, who's just 27 years of age. He has requested a trade from Seattle. He's entering the final year of a deal. According to Adam Schefter, he prefers to be dealt to a contending team. So DK Metcalf potentially on the move this offseason, the 27-year-old receiver with the Seahawks. So I think is owed something like 23 or 24 million this upcoming year. What are some possibilities there for DK Metcalf this offseason?
I think a couple teams make a lot of sense. Chargers make a ton of sense. All right. You could look at the Packers. They make a lot of sense. They have they don't really have like a number one dominant wide receiver.
Okay.
I want to say like maybe the Chiefs, but the Chiefs have, they just traded Joe Thuney to the Bears, to Brent's Bears the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Or was that today or was that yesterday? I don't know. But anyway,
This morning.
This morning. And that could be a situation. Travis Kelce, this is his last year. Like their weapons have not, since they got rid of Tyreek, and they've overcome it. They've won a couple Super Bowls. Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's okay.
Yep.
The Bills could be looking for another weapon,
True. Yeah.
right? But I do think like the Chargers right now, even the Raiders with Pete Carroll there,
Right.
you get. If they drafted, this is like almost a perfect situation for the Raiders if this were to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You somehow draft Shador. I don't know if he's going to be good or not, but at least you can say we have our quarterback of the future.
Right.
Go from there. You got Pete Carroll as your head coach, who is going to bring stability. You trade for DK Metcalf. We know Pete Carroll and DK Metcalf. Pete Carroll can, he can control DK because he's kind of a hothead. Then you still have to work on your defense there. Raiders could next year be a 9-10 win team as a wild card, and who knows? But I think Raiders, Chargers make a lot of sense for DK Metcalf.
Yeah, it's just interesting when I guess the backstory here is that the Seahawks, did you see this? They weren't happy with the fact that this leaked or got out the same day that they basically honored Tyler Lockett, who's been released.
They released him, yeah.
But they were honoring his 10 years with the Seahawks. And within an hour of that, news came out that DK Metcalf is requesting a trade, or that became public, and they didn't want that to happen the same day. Obviously, when a player, here's the thing with leverage in professional sports. The players have it. So you request a trade, what are you going to do? You're going to trade the player. That's just how this works. So he'll be gone, obviously.
I think AJ Brown is a better receiver than DK Metcalf, but just the size,
it's huge.
DK Metcalf reminds me a lot of AJ Brown. Those two guys are some of the biggest wide receivers in the league. Physical, exactly.
Yeah.
So a team on offense looking for a wide receiver like that, I think you go out and get DK Metcalf. Now, what would you have to give up for him? Probably a third. I don't think anything higher than that.
It's just 1 year left on his deal.
Yeah. You have to rework his deal, and he's going to want a bunch of money. And so that's going to also be an issue as well, because he's going to want to be paid as a top 5 wide receiver in the league. And he's already bringing not baggage to the table, but just he's just difficult at times, right? So that's a little bit of a problem.
He's had more penalties than any other wide receiver in the league since he joined the league. He didn't even have 1,000 yards last year, but he was banged up a little bit.
Well, so when you have Geno Smith as your quarterback.
Yeah. He only had 66 catches last year, which is not a big number, right? For a number one wide receiver.
How old is the guy? He's
27.
Yeah, 27 in his prime.
In the NFL.
He's put up some monster seasons.
Yeah, he's over 6,000 career yards. He's around 50 career touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt. There'll be a lot of interest. Of course there will be. I'm
just thinking where is a place with maybe a young QB that needs a number one go-to wide receiver? Because
not Washington anymore.
No, because they just got Debo and Terry McLaurin. The only place I can think of is the Chargers. They need a wide receiver.
Yeah, Chargers is probably a good fit.
The Bills could make sense.
The way the Chargers Play football too, Jim Harbaugh, you get a big physical, imposing receiver.
He would love DK Metcalf.
Yeah,
I would say the Bills, but again, DK is going to want a contract extension, and they're not. He's going to want a big time deal, and they just you have Josh Allen on your team, and that's going to make a ton of money.
Right.
Maybe Where Tennessee, right? You draft Cam Ward, get DK
Yeah,
Metcalf.
but he says he wants to go to contender.
Okay.
Like, are you a contender from day one if you go to Tennessee now?
It's the NFL. Like, does he have a no trade? No, he doesn't. So wherever you get traded to, you get traded to.
True, but oftentimes the player is
And
the
guess
one
what?
that has the player has the leverage here.
Guess what, though? If the Titans called right now, they draft Cam Ward, the number one overall pick. They need a wide receiver, somebody that they can give Cam Ward. They give up a 3. DK Metcalf's pissed. Why am I going to Tennessee? They suck. Hey, DK, here's the 4th largest contract ever for a wide receiver.
That shuts him up.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, money takes care of a lot of concerns.
But if it was solely, I agree. But if it's about money, couldn't he just restructure a deal with Seattle?
He wants a long-term contract. And also he wants out because they just don't have a quarterback.
Right. Yeah. Although, again, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, if you go with that youth movement, like you said, if you end up with like a Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders, yeah, you can get the money, but there's no guarantee.
There's not a guarantee,
right?
But it makes sense for those teams to do it because they're not paying the quarterback anything.
Deals.
Rookie deals. And when you pay when you have a quarterback on a rookie deal, it's like the new thing in the NFL. You got to win like now, because if you don't,
they all of a sudden eventually get paid and you don't have the same payroll flexibility. All right. Remember, listen for that sounder, the Miles Byrd sounder, for a chance to qualify to win 2 free tickets to see the Aztecs Saturday night, senior night against Nevada at Viejas Arena. On the other side, something else happened in the Cactus League yesterday we have not yet discussed. A debut in the Cactus League that needs to be discussed. On the other side, we've got the wrap coming up, and Kevin Acee, our Padres insider from Peoria, will join us at 4:30. We're here until 6, Jon and Jim. All right, listen for that Miles Byrd sounder. When you hear it, you'll be qualified to win 2 free tickets to see the Aztecs take on Nevada Senior Night. Final game at Viejas this year for San Diego State men's basketball. When you hear the sounder, call 877-767-4760. We've qualified 1 listener. We have 2 more listeners to qualify. We'll announce the winner coming up around 5:30. Kevin Acee will join us at 4:30. Yesterday in the Cactus League gym, this is a headline. Roki Sasaki drew rave reviews in electric spring debut. He worked 3 scoreless innings. And some of the opposition for the Reds said this: nasty, heavy, electric was Sasaki's stuff against the Reds yesterday. Are you reading anything into Roki Sasaki, whose fastball sat at 98 miles per hour yesterday in his spring debut?
I still am a very bitter, jealous, not even ex, because it's like the Padres never had him.
Right.
I just had the biggest crush on Roki, like one of those high school crushes. And then you see that girl go and date the douchebag jock. And you're like, this sucks.
So like me in that analogy.
Not like you, like the opposite of you.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very nice.
That's how I feel. And so anytime I see anything Roki related, that's a positive. And I'm like, oh, this dude averaged 100 miles an hour on his fastball yesterday. His splitter was devastating. This dude, oh, he looks so good. I just try not to pay attention because it's just gonna hurt me, bro. It's gonna get me in my feels.
Did you know that he was announced as a starter in Tokyo?
What? He was?
So the 2 starters in Tokyo for Dodgers Cubs are Yamamoto and Sasaki.
Smart. I mean, look, you're in Japan. You might want to have your, Japanese representation on your team.
Yeah, definitely.
Be involved in a heavy way. That's why I was kind of bummed last year when the opportunity was right in front. And again, this was in Seoul, Korea, but it was right in front of Mike Schilt in the Padres, and they whiffed. And that
could have
was
been what, Darvish Yamamoto?
Could have been Darvish Yamamoto in the opener of the year.
And like, no, Musgrove.
Or sorry, was it game 2? It was
Whatever
game 2.
it was. Yeah.
Whatever it was.
What I'd forgotten about here is that the Dodgers spring is about to end because they're going to Tokyo. So Sasaki's going to make 1 more appearance in the Cactus League, and then they're going to go to Tokyo and play, I think, March 18th and 19th. I mean, that's coming pretty quickly. Again, like you said, the Padres did that essentially a year ago playing in Korea. This is like the first traditional camp for the Padres in a while because they've had WBC and they've had Korea. And shoot, within the last couple of years, they've played a regular season series in Mexico City. So they don't have that this year. Dodgers do. I'm sure it'll be a great event, right? Tokyo, the return of Roki, the return of Yamamoto. Like, is that good for baseball, spreading the game overseas, internationally? Sure. I'm sure it is, right? Baseball is maybe the pastime of Japan. So I'm sure that'll be a great couple of days. I kind of prefer this from the Padres perspective. I don't need them going across the world again.
Mm-hmm.
Like last year, playing at 3 a.m, then coming back. That was fine. It was cute. It was great. I'm fine with the normal start March 27th. It's opening day. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, the 3 a.m. games.
Oh, we were on the air or on YouTube. That was an awful idea, Jim. It was your idea, and it was a bad one. Admit it.
No, it was not a bad idea.
It was a good idea in theory until you realized that one of the games took 4.5 hours to play. I slept through it.
That was fun. I enjoyed it.
Did you?
Yeah. Because it was a back and forth. I think it was like 14-11.
Something like that. Yep.
Manny hit a huge home run. I mean, it was just the first game. That was not fun.
That was the ball that had the went through Cronenworth's glove,
right?
With the webbing of the glove.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. It was fun. I mean, like just watching the game and hanging out with everybody on YouTube. That was cool. Now you were soft and you slept and didn't join me. Now you had to work. So.
I was in Spokane.
Yeah.
It was the first round of the NCAA tournament. I think. I don't know if it was
and that is the only reason why I was able to do it on YouTube is because we were preempted that day because of the NCAA tournament. If we were not preempted that day,
right, you wouldn't have been able to do a 3 a.m. show for 4 hours, then like a 3 p.m. show for another 4 hours.
No shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I don't even know where. Anyway, the point is Sasaki.
meh.
No, it's not. That's not the point at all. I do agree with a little bit of the jealousy. I do like, and I'm not a spiteful like sports fan. I don't typically watch sports to watch someone like fall flat on their face. I really don't. I'm not
spiteful.
I can't root for someone to fail for decades, like a decade straight. He's 23. Like, how do you root for someone not to be successful when they're 23? Like, I can't predict the future. I can't worry about it, is my point. It's like the whole, we can't worry about the Dodgers. You got to worry about the Padres. Like, if you worry about them, you're not really concerning yourself with what you need to do. So I'm not going to worry about it right now. Or maybe I will.
I'm not going to worry about it either, but it still doesn't take away from the fact that every time I see Roki out there in a Dodgers uniform, I just like
puke.
This sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do I want him to do bad? Yes, of course I do. That's the bitter sports fan in me. I want to see him do bad. But every time he goes out there and eventually he'll be good. I mean, he's got too much talent not to be, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
You're just sitting there being like, oh, this sucks. This really sucks. Because all the time and effort the Padres put into trying to get Roki, and more importantly, all the time and effort me and you put in talking about Roki Sasaki, just kind of was all for naught.
When is Ohtani going to pitch?
Probably, you know when he's going to pitch? Like the first series against the Padres.
Yeah, like whenever they need him to pitch. They don't need him from like day one.
No,
it doesn't even matter.
They have like 9 starters on their team.
Yeah,
they're good to go.
Yeah, it is a little bit of like, when it comes to starting pitching, they have some serious depth.
Right.
Heading into 2025. But yeah, Roki Sasaki, spring debut, 3 scoreless innings. Again, if I'm not going to read into the Padres, I can't read into spring training numbers. I just can't. Like, it doesn't mean he's going to be good. It doesn't mean he's going to be bad. It doesn't mean anything other than it was 3 scoreless innings against the Cincinnati Reds. Right? That's how I look at it. But yeah, I don't know. It's something I'll be thinking about a lot here in 2025. Now, in 2025, like we've talked about, they added Nick Pivetta. Maybe that's more than enough. Maybe it's not a big story in 2025, but in 2026 and beyond, it could be a huge story, obviously. Not landing Roki. All right. So in the 4:00 hour, Kevin Acee will join us with more on this Jose Iglesias signing. So that's official. It's a weird signing because it's a minor league deal that converts to a $3 million salary if he makes the big league team.
That's a big
it's
like
a
jump.
Good number.
Yeah.
Especially for the Padres who give out no money.
Right.
So it's not the $1 million deal. It's the $3 million deal. So it's interesting. Remember, I mean, we literally said yesterday, if you want to be critical of the Padres because they don't have depth, that's a fair reason for criticism. And to Preller's credit, they've added some depth. Like, and I wonder if he continues to do this. Like, maybe bring another starter into camp. Maybe not because of the money. Bring another reliever in. Bring another bench piece in. Have more competition. Like, I don't know. Is this the last move of the offseason for AJ Preller, Jose Iglesias?
Well, we can ask Kevin Acee that today.
Yeah, we will. I love that.
We will definitely ask Kevin Acee that.
All right, so Kevin will join us at 4:30 again. Listen for that sounder when you hear the Miles Byrd sounder, the call from Ted Leitner. Remember to call 877-767-4760 because you'll be qualified to win 2 free tickets to see the Aztecs take on Nevada Saturday night, senior night at Viejas Arena. We will qualify 2 more listeners between now and 5:30. Then we'll let you know who wins from those qualifiers coming up at 5:30 p.m. Kevin Acee will join us at 4:30. The wrap is on the other side. Hour 3 of Jon and Jim. That's next.
All right, this update's brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. We'll start with the Aztecs. They lost last night to UNLV. Next up, they'll take on Nevada for senior night at Viejas Arena, 7:30 tip time, 6:30 pregame. Listen right here on San Diego Sports 760. Padres news of the day. They signed former Mets infielder Jose Iglesias to a minor league deal with the chance of it becoming a major league contract. And NFL news of the day, wide receiver DK Metcalf has requested a trade from the Seahawks and the Raiders. They have signed Max Crosby to a 3-year, $106 million contract extension with $91 million guaranteed. Daylight savings time is here to bring one less hour of sleep. The 5 Hour Energy team has your time change solution. Limited edition 1 hour energy shots, a tiny version of the shot you love, designed to help you conquer the time change. For more information, visit 5hourenergy.com/DST.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 3 of Jon and Jim, which means it's another hour where Jim will cough. What is wrong with you? What happened? You're fine. What are you doing? Go get water. What do you need? What's wrong with you?
Do we have to pat you on the back or something?
You are very red.
Oh, dude,
What was that?
I don't know. I just choked.
You're not even eating anything.
I know.
Go get water. Okay, this segment,
I almost just died.
we're going to give away LCD sound system tickets. Don't die. This segment. So we'll give away LCD sound system tickets this segment. So in the next 10 minutes, we've got a pair of tickets. This is Gallagher Square, Petco Park this Saturday. Also, be listening for your chance to qualify to win Aztec tickets for Saturday, senior night, Viejas Arena. When you hear the Byrd sounder, you'll call 877-767-4760, and one lucky caller will be qualified to win. Now, we won't announce the winner until 5:30, but we're qualifying listeners throughout the show, and one of our qualifiers will win 2 free tickets to see the Aztecs Saturday night against Nevada in this crucial, arguably must-win game. I don't even know if it's arguable. Must-win game for San Diego State Saturday night. The game that Jim Russell is attending.
Dun, dun, dun.
For the first time this season. He's just going to walk on out there and go into Viejas Arena with Aaron and pretend like everything's cool and he's not going to impact the result of the game and
Dun, dun, dun.
everything's going to be great.
Dun, 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 dun.
Now, let's say you go and they fall behind by like 10 right away. Are you cool if like JD comes up to you and asks you to leave?
What if you were escorted out?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at.
That'd be funny.
Would it though?
But it really, I don't know. Like, because somebody there would be like, why is that guy getting escorted out? And then they've seen, and someone would recognize, like, oh, is that Jim? Is that Jon? And then they would take a video like, Jon just got escorted out of Viejas Arena.
We're at the point where a lot of people think Jon is Jim and Jim is Jon, whether it's our voice or when they see us, I go somewhere and someone's like, Jim. I'm like, no. But now we've reached next level where we go to these, like, we had like sales speed dating today.
Yeah.
Did
someone say you, Jim?
So, well, they called me Jon, but they wrote down his notepad Jim. I'm like, no, I'm Jon.
Oh my gosh, dude.
But whatever. I don't care. It goes, whatever you sell, I'll be Jim.
There's been a lot of times where it's like, Jim?
Right.
And that's pointing at you.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, no. Jon,
or
Jim.
On the radio, what happens, like on the text line or on YouTube or the wrap-up show, they'll be like, Jon, I can't believe you said that about Manny Machado. I'm like, I didn't say it. Jim said that about Manny Machado.
Here's the thing that I think people watching us on YouTube now, listening on the radio or on the iHeartRadio app, have as your number one preset, by the way. There are times where somebody might be like, wait, is that Jim or John?
I don't think we sound the same.
But we don't sound the same. I'm Jim. That's John.
Hi.
But on YouTube, if you watch us every day or watch us on replay, our names are underneath us.
That's true. That's true.
It says our names on the screen. It says John Schaefer under John and Jim Russell under Jim.
But again, what percent of the viewers or listeners are watching on YouTube?
Yeah.
Hopefully a low percentage.
Right.
So most people are probably listening in their car.
Hey, man, recently there's been a pretty high percentage of people watching us on YouTube.
I mean, is that accurate? Anecdotally, maybe.
Pretty good.
Okay. Anyway, Kevin Acee will join us coming up at 4:30 right now. Let's get to this.
It's time for The Wrap, presented by Sombrero Mexican Food. Check out their website at sombreromex.com.
Is Saturday a must-win game for the Aztecs?
That's an important question.
Already asking, is
On Wednesday?
Saturday a must-win on a Wednesday?
Can't believe it's still 3 days away. How many days that is?
Why don't we just ask
3.
that question every day for the rest of the week?
We'll do that.
Today, tomorrow, and Friday.
We will.
And the answer will be the same. Yes.
Okay, you're going to say yes. I think it's a must-win game. I mean, yeah, you could lose it and still win the Mountain West tournament, or you could lose it and maybe get to the Mountain West championship game and get in. I think you got to win the game. Realistically, being squarely on the bubble, so to speak, you got to win the game. Senior night at home, send these seniors off the right way, make it a vintage crowd at Viejas, loud, boisterous. Jim's going to be there rallying the troops. Got to win Saturday. Got to win.
If they lose on Saturday,
You will never hear the end of it.
Not will I never hear the end of it. You're not going to allow me to be on the show.
That's right. That is exactly right.
Tell me to go
No,
get away from you.
but I would say this. Man,
It won't be pretty if they lose and I'm there. I could just say that.
I agree with that.
A lot of
I agree
people
with
would be very upset with me.
that. Correct, including me. Next question.
We'll make you sit out in the hallway like you got kicked out of class. How excited are you guys about the Padres adding Jose Iglesias?
By the way, I did when I was in high school get multiple times be kicked out of class and have to sit in the hallway.
Oh, yeah, I had to do that.
For what?
Me and Will.
Yeah, Will, your buddy.
Yeah, who roasted the hell out of me at my wedding.
Right.
We were quick story. We had a class together, and we were sitting in the back of the class, and we would always joke around and talk when the teacher was talking. And I on my phone one day had I don't know, a sounder of something. And
Was it a Miles Byrd, Ted Leitner call?
No, it was not a Miles Byrd, Ted Leitner call. It was something very inappropriate. And I had my phone by Will, and I played this in a very inappropriate sound by Will, and the teacher thought it was Will that did it. And then Will was like, no, that was Jim. And so
he threw you under the bus.
Threw me under the bus. So then I got sent out of class. And then what I did is, since our seats were right next to the door and I was outside the classroom, I cracked open the door. I slid my phone underneath his seat, playing the inappropriate sound. I was outside. The teacher thought Will was messing around, so then sent Will out of the class. So I got us both in trouble. And that was it. Yeah. I did that multiple times. It was not great.
You must have been the worst student.
I still passed. Still got that diploma, baby.
Do you? Okay.
What was the question?
What was the question?
Oh, Jose Iglesias. What was it though? Do we like the signing?
How excited are you?
Hey, Jersey's not in the cart yet, but I like it. It's a nice piece that can hit lefties. If he replicates what he did last year,
Oh, yeah,
the
Mets
Mets
340.
Sign me the F up, man.
I like it. I do. I think it's one of those pieces to a puzzle that alone isn't that sexy or glamorous, but as part of a larger picture has value. I don't think he's going to have jerks and profars here, but if he plays a significant role in their clubhouse and produces to some extent or a large extent on field, I think it's a nice piece to add to the pieces you have in 2025 potentially. Next question.
The Lakers are number 4 in this week's NBA power rankings. Is that too high, too low, or just right?
So here are the top 3.
Okay.
Number 3, the Boston Celtics.
Okay.
Number 2, the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Okay.
And the number 1 power ranked team in the NBA at ESPN.com are the 51-10 Cleveland Cavaliers.
Name me 3 Cavs.
I'm going to do that for you.
You can't.
Donovan Mitchell.
LeBron James, all time?
J.R. Smith.
Right. Here, I'll name them for you.
Kevin Love.
Jared Allen.
Bro, you're looking,
Amani Bates.
you're looking at the roster.
I am. So I'm naming them for you.
I meant
Darius Garland.
without looking at the roster.
Sam Merrill's on this team?
Yeah.
What? Okay.
I can name Mitchell and Garland, but other than that, maybe Jared Allen.
Yeah, Jared Allen.
Once we get past those 3 guys, I got nothing.
Okay.
It's crazy.
Wait, what was the question?
Where do you the power rankings about the Lakers?
I think 2. So what do you think? 2 high, 2 low is just right.
Bro, they're second in the Western Conference.
Yeah.
That's all I care about. I don't care where they are like overall in the league. They're second. They're in the 2 seed in the Western Conference right now. They are a legitimate title threat. And this is all because Nico Harrison is a freaking moron.
I think that if the Lakers play the Cleveland Cavaliers in the postseason, the Lakers win. I think if the Lakers play the Oklahoma City Thunder in the postseason, the Lakers win. I think if the Lakers play the Celtics, that's where you have a serious question. But my guess is the Lakers would even be favored against Oklahoma City in the West. And my guess is they'd be favored if they made the NBA Finals against the Cavaliers. That's my guess. Would you agree with that? Yeah.
It's going to be very hard with a healthy Lakers team in the postseason to bet against them with LeBron and Luka.
Right. Next question.
Yeah, just how it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Should Steph Curry be in the conversation of greatest of all time?
So Shaq brought this up last night on the TNT broadcast after the game because the Warriors played the Knicks. Warriors won. He said that we need to start putting Steph Curry in the greatest of all time conversation. Not that he's the greatest of all time, but just he needs to be in that conversation. You know what I'm going to say.
You're going to say yes.
What about you? Do you think so?
Greatest of all time conversation. Like, are we going to include? So you're going to say Jordan and LeBron, and you're going to go back in the day and say like Wilt or like Magic Johnson. Like, is he in that same stratosphere of player? I mean, it's a good question.
Well, it's also hard to compare because Steph is, out of all the players you just named, is not the most physically dominant guy.
No, I mean, he's a gifted shooter, obviously. And he's won.
Gifted.
He is. I don't know, man. That to me might be just a bit of a bridge too far to say Steph is on the level playing field of like Michael and LeBron.
Right now, the 2 best point guards of all time are Magic and Steph. Would you agree?
The 2 best point guards of all time are Magic and Steph. Yeah, it sounds good.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, it's not to say that we're talking about the top 0.1 of the 0.1.
Right.
So I'm with you on he's a 0.1er.
Okay.
Yeah, he's one of the best players ever. But when you get to the best of, I just don't know if is he truthfully going to be in the conversation 15 years from now? Like when people are like LeBron or Michael, are they going to throw Steph in there? That's the question that we need to ask.
Probably not. But also at the same time, I mean, if you break it down, like if you have the conversation, okay, Steph's never going to he's never going to win the conversation, but he has some good arguments in the conversation.
Right.
One of the arguments is he's 3-1 against LeBron in the finals.
That's a good one.
Now, again, that one loss is LeBron took down a 73-win Warriors team, but and he had KD, but still 3-1 in the finals. All right. They both have 4 titles. Okay. 3-point shooting, greatest shooter of all time. The game literally changed because of Steph.
I'm cool with saying the greatest shooter of all time.
Yeah.
So that's fine. But I think when you get into like their full game, but it goes beyond that. It's like, how are they going to be remembered? Will he be on the same pedestal? This is the question you're asking, or that Shaq was asking or answering. If there's a pedestal that has LeBron James and Michael Jordan on it, is Steph Curry also on that pedestal or a different one? That is the only question we're asking. And I can't fully answer it. I'm just saying my hunch in my head is he's on the pedestal that's just below that one. That's just in my head. I could be dead wrong. That's just how it feels. He'll be remembered. Maybe I'm wrong.
I do think, though, like in 20 years from now, when you're talking about the greats, Steph's name will come up a lot.
Yeah, I do too. And there'll probably be someone 20 years from now that rivals what Steph has done and what LeBron is doing.
I think why his name will come up more than guys like Shaq and Kareem and Wilt, right, is because of the way the game is being played.
Right.
And because of the way the game is being played has a lot to do with Steph and his influence on the game. And so because of that, that's why Steph will be at the forefront of a lot of people's minds 15 years down the road when you have kids being like, not as athletically gifted as LeBron. So they have to play their game like maybe Steph.
Yeah, well, the problem with Steph is if not for Steph, Julian Rishwain doesn't hit 9 threes last night against San Diego State and think he's Steph.
Exactly.
Turn into Steph
so
for one night.
Did that guy from UNLV, what's his name?
Julian Rishwain.
Yeah, Julian
Basically grew
Rishwain.
up watching Steph.
Yeah, is he like, I want to be like LeBron? Or is he like, no, I'm actually not LeBron, so let me try to be more like Steph?
Do you put Steph on that list of the greatest of the greatest? 70470, start it with the word team. But call right now if you want 2 free tickets to see LCD Sound System Saturday, Gallagher Square at Petco Park. This Saturday. Tickets and info at Ticketmaster.com. First caller, you're going. 2 free tickets to see LCD Sound System, Gallagher Square, Petco Park this Saturday. 877-767-4760. That's 877-767-4760. Call right now. Be listening for the Miles Byrd Sounder to qualify to win those Aztec tickets for Saturday night. Kevin Acee at 4:30 is Jon and Jim. Ken, hit us up on the Talkback mic. Just open the free iHeartRadio app. Listen to San Diego Sports 760. Tap that little microphone icon next to the play button to leave a 30-second talkback. Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Remember, when you hear that Miles Byrd sounder, the call from Ted Leitner, call 877-767-4760 for your chance to qualify to win Aztec tickets for Saturday against Nevada at Viejas Arena. We'll qualify someone this hour and next hour and have a winner of those tickets coming up around 5:30. So 70470 started with the word team. We asked, is Steph on the same pedestal to be considered among the greatest of all time? I think it's a very fair question. And then you could argue it's like the never-ending conversation, like the evergreen tweet or whatever, like LeBron or Michael, is Kobe, you could talk about it for forever, essentially, because it's subjective.
Very subjective. But I think there's a conversation, like, is Steph one of the greatest of all time? Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Did he do things that no one else has done? Like, he has created or helped, create a league now and basketball in general, where the 3-point shot, everybody wants to have. Everybody, if you can't shoot a three, like, the likelihood of you playing in like the NBA, like, it's unless you're pretty low, right?
Unless you're Draymond Green,
you need to have range. You need to shoot three. Mm-hmm. Draymond can shoot a three; he's just not really good at it, but still, you can make a couple.
Mm-hmm.
His style of play, just who he is, his accolades. He's gonna put up some crazy. He's eventually gonna get to over 4,000 made threes in his career. Which
is that a lot?
That's a lot. Yeah. That record probably will never be broken. Maybe it will, just because of the way the game is, because of the generation coming in. But you're going to need some crazy years from some guys. Conversationally, if you want to say Steph,
the conversation.
Yeah. That's what Shaq was talking about and alluded to the other night. Is Steph the greatest of all time? That's not what he's saying. He's saying Steph should just put him in that conversation, have a conversation about it. And if at the end of the conversation you determine he's not, okay, it's fine, but you got to put him in the conversation.
Where is he? Not that I'm overly concerned about it, but where is he in the all-time scoring list? He's 26th all-time in scoring.
Yeah, I think what he has he has over 25,000 points or close to it.
He has a lot of points, and that a lot would be 24,945.
So almost at 25,000. 25,000 is like I say 3,000 hits in baseball.
Kind of,
but it kind of
only 25 guys.
Yeah, kind of
25 guys.
You get 25,000 points in your career in the NBA. That's like a 3,000 hit in baseball.
But to say that he's on that pedestal, and when the top scorers, 3 of the top 5 scorers all time, LeBron, Kobe, and Michael, Wilt 7th. Shaq's 9th. Do you have to fit? And I don't know how much longer Steph's going to play. You tell me. Is he going to play for another 3 years, 5 years, less, more?
Well, his contract runs through 2027, so 2.5 years, 2 years.
So,
and that's when Draymond's contract and Jimmy Butler's contract are. So that would mean he would be 38-ish, 39.
Okay, so you're telling me he can get to 30,000 points. That's another 5,000 in his career.
Yeah.
Is that reasonable?
Yeah.
Okay, so if he gets to 30,000 points, now he's in the top 10 of all-time scorers.
He'll have the most threes by far.
He'll have the most threes by far, 100%. Now, is he going to get to the 32 range or the 35 range or whatever? But he'll be a top 10 scorer ever. He's got the 4 rings. He's got the most threes ever. Yeah, I think we can certainly, like you said, it's worth having the conversation. Does he need to do anything else to... He probably doesn't. Is it even do anything for him to keep compiling, hitting more threes and scoring more points?
Like LeBron James thing. There's no. He just keeps compiling numbers, and the longevity of it all is going to be the conversation. Guys like Nick Wright are going to have into why LeBron for them is the best of all time instead of Jordan. But when you look at it, here's what Steph has. All right, 2-time MVP, first ever unanimous, by the way. Did you know that?
No, but I don't. Yeah, that doesn't. Yeah, okay.
4 titles, Finals MVP, gold medal, 3-point champion, multiple times. I know the All-Star game is whatever now, but still, it's an accolade. 2-time All-Star game MVP, 30,000 points. Like,
yeah, I would put him like I'm willing to
12
put
to
him
15-time All-Star.
I'll put him past like KD.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But and again, I don't think KD is on the same pedestal as like LeBron or Michael.
Do you think playing in one city for your entire career?
I think it's helpful. Yeah.
Like the Kobe effect.
Yeah,
and,
definitely.
Magic.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's no doubt. It does. It's rare.
Very rare.
It's really rare. So he'll be remembered. His legacy is more significant, I think, because of that.
Just put him in the conversation.
Yeah, put him in the conversation. I'll put him in the conversation.
Will he win those conversations? Probably not, but put him in it.
Put him in. All right, Kevin Acee. We'll put him in our conversation. He'll join us from Peoria. Jose Iglesias is a Padre. His reaction to that, what it means for the Padres bench and middle infield moving forward. Kevin Acee, our Padres insider, will join us next.
Miles Byrd.
All right, this update is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. San Diego State last night lost to UNLV. Next up, senior night on Saturday against Nevada. 7:30 tip time, 6:30 pregame. Listen right here on your home of the Aztecs, San Diego Sports 760. Padres news of the day. Padres signed former Mets infielder Jose Iglesias to a minor league deal. And NFL news of the day. Raiders, they have signed Max Crosby to a 3-year, $106.5 million contract extension with $91 million guaranteed. Daylight savings time is here to bring one less hour of sleep. The 5-Hour Energy team has your time change solutions. A limited edition 1-hour energy shots, a tiny version of the shot you love, designed to help you conquer the time change. For more information, visit 5hourenergy.com/DST.
All right, Kevin Acee is our Padres insider. He's joining us from Peoria, where, again, the Cactus League is well underway. We get some news today that Jose Iglesias, the veteran middle infielder, has been signed by San Diego. So that's some good news in what has been otherwise a very disappointing spring on the field for this.
We're going to talk about that, Kevin.
They just can't win this Cactus League. We're kidding. Kevin, what do you make of this Iglesias signing? How did the Padres envision using him? And thanks for hopping on.
Oh, no, my pleasure. By the way, I am brought to you by 5-Hour Energy every day from February to October. So that's a coincidence.
Right, yeah.
Listen, I think this is really interesting just because, okay, number one explanation, it's throwing some more depth out there and saying, guys, like, we want to be as good as we can be, and you have to be as good as you can be to make this team. But man, there's so many tentacles to this. And here's what I'll say real simply. And I'm not like, all I'm saying is these are possibilities. By May 1st, this guy could be the starting second baseman or he could be gone. That's the realm of possibilities. Jose Iglesias had a really good year last year, and look at his career. He really hasn't had terrible stretches. Like, I mean, he's been a decent player. And you know, he's 35 years old. He can come in here and he can't move anymore. I don't know. So a lot of people were surprised that he was not signed, that he had to take a minor league deal. Now there is an upside. He makes $3 million if he makes the roster, or when that's his salary in the major leagues, prorated if he doesn't make it till, let's say, the middle of April or something. I really think it's a depth move, but also with the possibility that this guy comes in and shakes things up a little bit. Look, they don't have a DH now. It'd be Luis Arraez be their DH, Jake Cronenworth back to first base. That really is going to depend on how good Jose Iglesias is. Is Jose Iglesias, does he displace Eggy Rosario? You try to move Eggy Rosario because he doesn't have options left. I don't think you just give up on Eggy Rosario. Does he displace Tyler Wade? That would be $950,000 hit. But hey, you know, that's the price of doing business. I'm just throwing out like the realm of possibilities here is fascinating.
Yeah, it seems like they have too many players for positions right now with, you know, Iglesias in there and Yuli Gurriel, and you also have Tyler Wade and Jake Cronenworth and Connor Joe. So when you look at, hold on, sorry a second. When you look at, you know, the roster here, who could be looking outside in when the season comes?
Well, I mean, all of these guys except Wade and Rosario have options left. Now, look, it comes down to it. You're a winning team. Tiebreaker could be, hey, if we send this, or, you know, if we were to send this guy down, we lose him because they'd be subject to waivers, or you try to make a trade or something like that. But like Ornelas has options. Connor Joe has options. So look, it's funny that there's 3 weeks from tomorrow left. I think it's like 18 games or something like that. A lot of time for them to evaluate. But odd man out could be any of those guys that, Lockwood or Ornelas. I mean, those guys are on the 40-man roster. So there's then moves that need to be made to put someone else on there. That further makes it fascinating. So I'm not trying to dodge your question. I'm just like, at this point, like, I think that this move shone a light on just kind of how up in the air those 3-4 bench spots are.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it all shakes out in the coming weeks. Like you said, we're just about 3 weeks away from opening day. So obviously results aside, because results just don't matter, but there has been some encouraging parts of the last couple of days, right? Nick Pivetta debuts, pitches effectively. Michael King, a couple of scoreless innings. I mean, at the end of the day, they're going to rely heavily on the front four, these first four starters in the rotation. For me, that's got to be the biggest part of spring training, right? Stretching out these starting pitchers and making sure they're healthy enough heading into the year.
Right. And it's funny. I don't know if I was talking about this with you guys, but like, I remember like thinking, man, how does Nick Pivetta get enough work in? He hasn't gone out yet. And I remembered like, this is the longest spring training we've had since 2019. Like there's plenty of time, right? He's got 4 more starts to make here. So to be like the first time that maybe somebody even gets up to like 6 innings in a few years. I doubt it, but like to get a full 5 in, I don't even remember the last time I saw that in spring training. I really, the 2 things, Pivetta intensity and the sweeper, really good pitch. And that's what you're looking at in spring, right? Like, how are these guys' pitches moving? Are they able to throw strikes? It's a little early to panic if they're not, but obviously Nick Pivetta, he was on yesterday. Michael King, once he remembered, how to pitch after the first 4 batters, he was brilliant today, and his changeup was was dastardly like it was at times last year. So I thought that was obviously real good. The significance here is this is the beginning of when these guys are all getting on the mound in Cactus League games, because tomorrow is Dylan Cease, and Friday, with weather permitting, is Yu Darvish.
Kevin, back to the infield, because you mentioned like Iglesias could be the starter on opening day, or it could be gone. Like there's so many different.
I want to make sure, I don't know if he has enough time to I don't think he's winning a job on opening day, but I think that it's possible that he could Donovan Solano's, the situation or something like that. And that, oh, wow, look what we could do here. I think at some point in the season that could happen. But anyway, go on.
What I was going to go with is, Jake Cronenworth, he just can't hit lefties, man. Last year, it was really bad, and they got in a guy now, Jose Iglesias, last year, hit 400 against lefties. Could you see Jake Cronenworth turning into more of a platoon type of player?
Against some lefties, you know what I'm saying? Like last year was worse than normal. Wasn't it like 50 points worse than normal?
Yeah, it was bad.
So if he's going to be a 255 hitter against lefties and a 275 or 280 hitter against righties, I don't know. I'm making that up. I just did a big chart on it the other day, but I forget what it was. But against righties, but like last year the numbers were down big time against lefties. That continues. Yes, great point. That is how it all plays in, right? Like, look, they even sat Arise against some lefties. He was hurt and there was some pitches that really bothered him and stuff. Maybe that wouldn't happen again because he usually doesn't sit against lefties. So yes, absolutely that could come into play. As of right now, the expectation is that Jake Cronenworth is an everyday player. He makes a nice salary. It's a very good salary if he could play like, the Jake Cronenworth that they expected. But that's an everyday player's salary. But look, they're trying to win in 2023. Like, let's make no mistake about it. It's not like, AJ Preller didn't get an extension. They're trying to win in 2025. So, that could happen. Sure.
Kevin Acee is our Padres insider, is back with us right now on Jon and Jim. So they make this addition, which by their offseason standards is pretty sizable, because if he does make $3 million, that's a good chunk for a team that hasn't spent a lot this offseason. In your opinion, if they were to make another addition this offseason, what area of need would it address?
Well, I think at this point it's got to be a trade. I don't know who's, don't know what's out there for the price. Though obviously prices are coming down, and minor league contracts are being what guys are getting. But it's got to be a bat, right? Look, Jason Hayward has had terrible spring trainings before and done well in the season, but you have to remember that he's 35 now, right? And he's 0 for 10 and doesn't look great. Now, people smarter than me say that there's some things he's working on and, might be pressing because he's, trying to win this job and all that, new team. And who knows? I'm not going to make judgments on it. I'm just saying, you kind of got to say you're not set there in left field. You certainly are not set at designated hitter. So it's got to be a bat, but I don't know of anything going right now. From everything I've heard, and it's been, a few days, even like the faintest of talk is that teams would still be interested in players the Padres don't want to give up at this point. Be that a Cronenworth, a Cease, And when they say interested, I don't know the level of that. Teams are always talking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the last time I was talking with AJ Preller for longer than 30 seconds and his phone didn't buzz 6 times. So, that's not always some other team, but, there's a lot going on, and I still stick by that. While I will say I think they're very comfortable with their pitching, I'm just going to be surprised if there's not a move by March 27th.
Okay. Yeah. John's been saying that.
I feel the same way.
Yeah. Because it does feel like there's like one more move that needs to be made almost for this team to you feel like good going into this season. Kevin, going to Nick Pivetta, and he debuted yesterday, looked really good, and obviously we spent the entire offseason talking about Roki Sasaki. We talked about this the other day. Tell us if you agree. The argument that while in the long term, having Sasaki on the team would be the ideal situation, but in the here and now, Pivetta might be more valuable than Roki this year just because of, the limitations that Roki has. And so maybe in the short term, getting Nick Pivetta this year instead of Roki might help the team more.
Sure. Yeah. That last part there, I'll buy into that. Sure. Valuable in that Pivetta is going to cost them whatever, $12 million a year because you got to average in next year's, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm just talking about this year, not like any other year, just this season. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, without a doubt, I shouldn't say without a doubt. What I'm trying to do is say, I wholeheartedly can buy into that Nick Pivetta can provide them something they really need. And even if that's at like let's say a 3.9 ERA, if it's 180 innings, that's big.
Yeah, I mean, that would be huge.
Sasaki's not doing 180
No,
innings
because
this year.
he's going to throw every 6th or 7th day.
Or 170 innings. There's some wins in there, right? Yeah. If you're having a guy go 6 and 7 innings, he's consistently giving you 5 because, you got to do the math to add up to 170. That generally is a guy who, was in there for you and gave you a chance to win. And yes, so I like it.
Yeah, and at the dollars they're paying him, I mean, that's really a win-win potentially. If they give him that full year and he's a little bit of a workhorse for them and he's a 4th starter, I mean, that provides huge value, obviously, for the Padres potentially in 2025. Kevin, always appreciate it. Let's do it again on Friday. We'll see if this losing streak can come to the end. When's the last time they won? It was like Clinton was in office. It's been forever.
It's been a while.
Here's how important it is. I actually have looked up batting averages and team batting averages in the past and doing research on how did Tatis and Hayward and Cronenworth and Machado do in past spring trainings to make sure I'm putting it in perspective. I don't have a freaking clue when the last time they won or lost.
Either do we.
But it does feel like a long time. And I want one more addendum. I said I'd be surprised if there's not a move by March 27th. Let's learn our lessons from the past. Let's make it May 4th, the day they got Luis Arraez.
I like that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It doesn't have to be opening day.
Yeah, a month or so into the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Thanks, Kevin. We'll do it again Friday.
Right on, guys.
All right, Kevin Acee, our Padres insider. We can react to that in the 5 o'clock hour. But if you want a free 4-pack of tickets to the Shamrock Music and Beer Festival, you might like beer. You may like music. This is not this Saturday, but next Saturday in the Gas Lamp, Saturday, March 15th. Call right now. A free 4-pack of tickets to the Shamrock Music and Beer Festival. First 2 callers will be contestants for trivia, which we'll do on the other side of this break. But you need to call right now, 877-767-4760. 877-767-4760. Call right now. We've got a free 4-pack of tickets to the Shamrock Music and Beer Festival, Saturday, March 15th from 2 to 10 in the Gas Lamp. Call right now if you want those free 4-pack of tickets. 877-767-4760. That's next on Jon and Jim. we need caller 2 if you want a free 4-pack of tickets to the Shamrock Music and Beer Festival. I mean, it's free. And you're talking about beer and music, free 4-pack of tickets, not this Saturday, but next Saturday in the Gas Lamp. If you want a free 4-pack of tickets, call right now, 877-767-4760. That's 877-767-4760 if you want to play Kenneth for a chance to win that free 4-pack of tickets to the Shamrock Music and Beer Festival. Jim?
John, I like free food.
You do.
I like festivals and music.
Right.
I'm actually going to a Kane Brown concert next week.
Are you?
Yeah. Aaron loves Kane Brown. Obviously, our first dance song was Kane Brown, so kind of just makes sense, right?
It makes a lot of sense. Yeah. What song was it?
Thank God by Kane Brown.
Right, that's right.
Yeah. So going to that next Thursday at the Sports Arena. Or no, Pachanga. Going to Pachanga. So that should be fun.
It's at Pachanga Arena next Thursday?
Yeah.
Are you going to bring us back from commercial break?
Oh, I mean, I could.
On YouTube. Thank you, Jim.
You're welcome.
We will react to our conversation with Kevin Acee coming up at 5 p.m. We are here until 6. We're qualifying another listener, by the way. We're qualifying another listener coming up between now and 5:30 for Aztec Senior Night. This is Saturday night at Viejas Arena. San Diego State, Nevada, Senior Night, must-win game. Jim will be there. So,
what are you more nervous about, me being there or the game?
They kind of go hand in hand.
I know.
Truthfully, like I'm more nervous about the game. If
they do go down 10-4 in the first 4 minutes, 5 minutes of the game, are you going to be texting me like leave now or what?
You know, Nevada's one of these teams, Jim, that they haven't had a great season on paper. Like their record's below 500 in the league. But metrically, they're good, and they've lost a lot of close games. I reminded myself today while getting a car wash, and I was nervous about this game.
Where'd you go to get a car wash?
Encinitas Car Wash.
Oh, okay.
Did you have a spot in mind?
I mean, I go to Soapy Joe's all the time. How do you not go to Soapy Joe's, man?
I'd be happy to go to Soapy Joe's.
You should probably go to Soapy Joe's.
I should?
Yeah. Shout out Soapy Joe's.
I would go if I would love to go.
Easy, quick.
Soapy Joe's.
Yeah. Easy, quick, reliable. Does a great job.
Soapy Joe's, 877-767-4760. Right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm sitting there. They're washing my car. And I reminded myself, like, Nevada, Saturday. And then I remembered they won at New Mexico beat them at the buzzer this year at the pit. Do you remember this? I think the ball was like picked up at the free throw line, and the dude, Nelly Jr. Joseph, literally threw it at the buzzer. It was a loose ball. He picked it up and threw it in randomly with 1 second left.
Vaguely remember
2 months ago. But I'm just saying, like, they're a dangerous team. They're that type of team. They've lost a lot of games, but they've been in a lot of games. So it is making me lose sleep. And I don't want to have to wait until Saturday night. Do you know how many hours that is? 72 hours, essentially.
That's a long time.
Yeah, it's a long time. So I don't want to wait.
You shouldn't just don't sleep just don't sleep.
Can you imagine?
Stay up for 72 straight hours until Saturday night.
By the way, programming announcement. Do you know where I'm going with this? Because a week from tomorrow is the Mountain West quarterfinals, and San Diego State is locked in to the 4-5 game in the quarterfinals. And what does that mean? It means they're playing at 2:30 in the afternoon.
Oh, shucks.
And what does that mean for Jim? It means Jim won't be working
next
Thursday. Now, you might want to talk to our bosses. Like, you may still have to show up.
I'm going to show up.
Oh, you're going to show? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you can work remote.
I have to do other things in the building, John.
Such as?
Other things.
Exactly. So the game's at 2:30 on Thursday. We don't know who they're going to play. It could be Boise, could be Colorado State. I think those are the two options.
Okay.
But it's at 2:30, which means Ted's on the call. I'll be there in Vegas. I'll do pre, half, and post. But that's going to take up all of John and Jim, which just sucks to be you, because that means you're not going to have an opportunity to be on the air that day.
Now, are you going to Vegas?
I just said that.
I wasn't listening.
I know you weren't. Well, yes, I'm going to Vegas. Why? You thought you had to book an engineer for that?
No. I was thinking to myself, all right, so this time next week.
I'll be here Wednesday. We'll do the show. You don't have a show on Thursday.
Okay.
And Friday we'll have to figure out.
Friday's gonna have to.
I will be with you, whether it's from I'll probably be with you from Las Vegas.
Right, since you're going to be there.
But I mean, if they lose on Thursday,
then you won't.
I will still be with you in some capacity is my point. I don't know where I'll be.
What I mean is like, yeah, you won't be in Vegas though on Friday.
I could be because of the Kristen Jones factor.
Oh.
So there's some moving parts. Either way, we have a show on Friday. Now, if they win Thursday, you're going to have a little bit of a short show also on Friday. You're going to be able to deal with that if the show gets shortened?
Shucks.
Would you be able to deal with that?
Dang it.
Right? All right. So that's what's coming up next week. Now, again, this week, if you want to win free tickets to see the Aztecs, listen for the Miles Byrd sounder.
Yes, we have one more qualifier that we need the next hour, and then we're announcing the grand prize winner for this pair of tickets to Saturday night at 5:30.
Exactly. So that means we're qualifying someone between right now and 5:30. So over the next 30 minutes, don't go anywhere. Someone's getting qualified. Among the qualifiers, we'll pick the winner. And then we have more tickets to give away tomorrow. We have multiple pairs of tickets to give away.
All these tickets
tomorrow. Kevin Acee just joined us. We'll react to our conversation with Kevin on the other side. Again, we're giving away Aztec tickets for senior night in the 5 o'clock hour. Hour 4 of Jon and Jim. That comes your way next.
All right, this update is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Aztecs lost last night to UNLV. Next up, their final regular season game of the year against Nevada, which is senior night this Saturday, 7:30 tip, 6:30 pregame. Listen right here on San Diego Sports 760. NFL news of the day. Raiders signed Max Crosby to a 3-year, $106.5 million contract extension, $91 million guaranteed. DK Metcalf has requested a trade from the Seattle Seahawks. And Padres news of the day. They signed former Mets infielder Jose Iglesias to a minor league contract with a chance of it becoming a major league deal. Daylight savings time is here to bring one less hour of sleep. The 5 Hour Energy team has your time change solution. Limited edition 1 hour energy shots, a tiny version of the shot you love, designed to help you conquer the time change. For more information, visit 5hourenergy.com/DST.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is the final hour of Jon and Jim. A reminder, be listening for the Miles Byrd, Ted Leitner call. When you hear that sounder, so to speak, call 877-767-4760, and one lucky listener will be qualified to win 2 free tickets for the Aztecs senior night game Saturday night at 7:30. So this will be our third qualifier. Then coming up at 5:30, we'll announce our winner from the 3 qualifiers of the Aztec tickets. So we'll give those away this hour, and we're qualifying another listener this hour. Then we have more tickets to give away tomorrow as well for San Diego State and Nevada, this massive showdown Saturday night at Viejas Arena. Now, we just had Kevin Acee on the show at 4:30. We haven't had a chance to digest or react. I thought his point was well taken, that the Iglesias move could signal a number of things, from him getting a lot of playing time with San Diego in 2025 to him being released by the 1st of May because of basically an option in his contract. But, you know, I thought today a lot of people thought, well, what does this mean? Here's a guy that hit 337 last year with the Mets. He was a big reason why they kind of went on that run in the second half and made it all the way to the NLCS. It's probably too early to say that he's going to fill this huge role for the Padres in 2025. Based on this signing here today, because it is a minor league deal until he makes the team.
Yeah, and one of the other interesting things that Kevin said is give it up until May 4th.
For like a move
for a
Preller.
move.
Yeah.
And he predicts and thinks that there could be another move up until then, because that's when they traded for Luis Ariz last year. Not like once opening day hits, Preller's not going to do anything. He could absolutely do something the second week of the season. And he's kind of on your thinking of like,
John,
hey, they're going to make another move.
I mean, I don't know if they will or not. The moves they've made so far have been less than, I don't know, like eye-popping. Like even today, dude, you and I wake up, we see this news. This ends up on the internet. I forget, Robert Murray maybe had it first. It's like the 8 o'clock hour, and it's trickling out. And, you know, in previous off seasons, the moves have been so sizable or splashy.
Dylan Cease, Luis Ariz.
And it's not always because of the money, because like Cease was an arbitration player. It's not like they brought in all this money, but it was still splashy. Or Luis Ariz. Shoot, Miami was eating his contract last year, essentially. But it was still splashy.
Peter Bendix.
Yeah, like this year, that's right, the GM for the Marlins. This year, I mean, is there even anything splashy about, I mean, maybe Pivetta in the smallest way? I think it's more like functional than splashy. Like they need it. They need a fourth starter, and that serves a purpose. That's terrific. I'd rather have that form and function than a sexy move. But other than Pavetta, there's nothing sexy at all about this offseason. It doesn't have to be sexy if it works. And maybe this is a piece that will work.
I'm not expecting a big time flashy move for like an all-star, but to get like a actual major leaguer, not some fringe 35-year-old or some guy on a minor league deal.
Is that this?
No, this is a minor league deal guy, which technically it is.
Right.
Jason Hayward, 35-year-old fringe major leaguer.
Mm-hmm.
Connor Joe, I think, has some value, but he also has options. And I wouldn't be surprised if at some point this year he's optioned,
Right.
But Nick Pivetta, that's a real legitimate major league deal. And that's the only thing they've had this offseason. I mean, even Elias Diaz, I'm like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree. And that's why my mind keeps going down the path of, well, are they going to do something more than what they've done? But maybe not. Part of me also recognizes that you look at a piece of paper with this roster and it looks pretty good. Like if I just look at Darvish and Cease and King and Musgrove and Machado and Tatis and even a Bogarts, you get my point. Like there's a core in there where you say that's among the better, 6, 8, 10 players that rosters have, maybe outside of LA. Like there's an 8, 10 player core in there that really stacks up with most teams in baseball. So you kind of forget about that when they don't make any moves in the offseason, but they already have a nice core returning in 2025.
You know what I was thinking when Kevin, I didn't want to say this to Kevin because I don't want to be mean.
Right.
when he's like, yeah, every time I talk to AJ Preller, I can't go without 10 seconds, his phone ringing.
Right.
I wanted to be like, do you think AJ has told people, hey, if Kevin ever comes and talk to me, just give me a call.
Just text me.
Just give me a call and text me.
Because how is it? I mean, is it really true? Is it really true that AJ's phone rings or buzzes nonstop? Not necessarily 24/7, but all day and all night.
At some point, if I was Kevin, and every time I talk to him, within the first 30 seconds of us talking, his phone rang.
I'd be like, something's fishy.
This is not right here. What's going on?
Yeah, there's no way that all hours of all days, no matter the month, his phone is constantly buzzing.
I mean, maybe
it is, but how many chargers does Preller keep with him? If he's really using his phone like that,
how many
better
phones
be by a
does
cord.
Preller have? My question.
Oh, you think he's got a burner?
I don't think he has a burner. I think he has
a phone for a phone.
I think he has a work phone, which means hey, call me if you're gonna want to talk business. You call me on this phone, and then he has his personal phone, which you also can call. But
you know what amazes me about Preller, because we always see him by his phone or on his phone. The guy's not using AirPods. Like in 2025,
it's Preller, man. Have you seen Preller?
I've seen Preller, but you're putting your phone to your ear all day long.
It makes for a better photo op for people like me.
Yeah. When they're rumored to be in on a player.
Yep.
Preller with a phone.
Preller on a phone.
Right.
I mean, I remember earlier in the spring, right when it started, he was on his phone and immediately within a couple hours, it's like Jason Hayward, Connor Joe. You're like,
right.
What?
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, he's always talking on the phone, doing something, and
to get deals like this done. Is any part of you kind of surprised that Jose Iglesias, coming off a year in which he was very productive for a good team, was it surprising to you that he was just sitting out there in the middle of March?
No,
because he's 35 and he
35-year-old
2 years ago.
Yeah, he didn't play in the majors in 2023. He had a nice 85 games for the Mets, really nice 85 games for the Mets last year. Like I said, it's not like he, is 29 years old and he had 3 seasons where he hit, 285 plus.
Right.
He's 35.
So there's a reason he was out there.
Yes, there's a reason. There's a reason why all these guys are out there. Connor Joe, Jason Hayward.
It's funny when I see some of the reaction, and I understand it. I see some of the reaction from people around Padres Twitter or just Padres fans here today. Man, you had Iglesias. I'm like, well, hold on.
Greatest player ever.
Every team could have added Iglesias. Every single one. Now, if you are catching a player lightning in a bottle like they did a little bit with the Solano or Peralta, again, they didn't have these unbelievable seasons that are carrying you to the promised land, but they were part of the puzzle last year, the Peraltas and the Solanos. Can he be part of a puzzle? Yeah, I buy that he could absolutely be a part of a puzzle.
Preller's taking flyers on guys and hoping someone hits.
Yep.
That's what happened last year.
Yep.
Took a flyer on Jerkson Profar, hit in a huge way.
Mm-hmm.
Took a flyer on Donovan Solano, it hit. Peralta hit. Everything he did last year, it hit. Having Higgy in that trade, the Juan Soto trade, ended up being the everyday catcher, hit.
Yeah, no, you're right.
So that's what he's doing this year look at all the players he signed this year. Yuli Gurriel, Gavin Sheets, Jose Iglesias, Connor Joe, Jason Hayward, Elias Diaz, Martin Maldonado. Am I missing anybody?
Those are not pups.
No, they're not. They have all had time in the big leagues.
For a decade.
Yes. What's the plan there? Is it, well, let's just get a bunch of dudes to fill some spots? No. It's also who out of the bunch can emerge? Who can give me like that? Whoa, didn't expect to see that. Signed a guy to $1 million, but performed as a guy that should have been paid $10 million.
Right. And veteran pieces, by the way, that have won, like Jason Hayward. You could, again, he's had his success as well, but he's also won.
Mm-hmm.
Jose Iglesias has won. You're not just plugging in a 24-year-old with no big league experience with upside. Well, I think that has value. Right? It could be Tirso or Nellis. You're looking for more of that, like proven, been through the battles, understands the dynamics of a clubhouse, understands what we're trying to accomplish. You know what I mean? Like these guys are just like plug and play. They don't have high ceilings, but you know what you're going to get. You know who Martin Maldonado is. You probably understand who Jose Iglesias is or Jason Hayward. So to me, it's rounding out of a roster, and it's Preller trying to address, again, in the 26-man roster, spots 24 and 25 and 26, recognizing that those positions are important over 162.
Well, so you look at Yuli Gurriel and Jason Hayward and Elias Diaz, and you're like, hey, can you guys maybe give something closer to your better seasons than what you've done recently?
Right.
Like, do you still have it in you?
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't, it's very easy to move off of because you aren't paying these guys really any money.
Right.
And so that is the flyers that AJ Preller has taken this year. And hopefully something hits,
Man, they have a chance. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like on opening day, let's say, and maybe he doesn't, but let's say Iglesias is somehow, he finds his way on that opening day roster, and Jason Hayward, even Martin Maldonado, like some of these names we've just referenced, will they not be among the older teams in baseball if you add in Maldonado and Iglesias and Hayward?
Yes, they already are one of the older teams.
And they've only gotten older.
Yeah, they have. Let me think here. They have really.
How many players in their 20s? Tatis, Merrill.
Arise.
Yeah. I mean, there's others. The bullpen. King is what, 29?
Mm-hmm. King's in his 30s.
Is he 30?
Yeah. King's 30.
Okay.
Cease is in his 30s.
Yeah. So again, they're not young, which is fine.
No.
But you got to win. You got to go win right now.
Got to win.
All right. Listen for that sounder. When you hear the Miles Byrd sounder, the call from Ted Leitner, call 877-767-4760 will qualify another listener to win Aztec senior night tickets. That is Saturday night at Viejas Arena. We'll announce the winner coming up at 5:30. And on the other side, we'll get into the importance of Saturday night after the Aztecs fell in Las Vegas last night to UNLV. We're here until 6 p.m. This is Jon and Jim. They've also suffered 2 losses to UNLV, including last night. What are you smiling at?
Nothing.
So I don't know if it is as simple as this, but we can simplify it to this. They need to win on Saturday. And if they win on Saturday, you feel good about their tournament chances. If they lose on Saturday, you probably don't. Is it as simple as that? All comes down to that final regular season game.
It's pretty simple. You win the game, chances are good. Not like 100% lock, but they're pretty decent. You lose, got to win the Mountain West Conference tournament, or you are SOL.
Mm-hmm.
NIT, here we come. Most likely.
I mean, it's I'm trying to think, like, there's no gray when it comes to the NCAA tournament. You know, it's like you're in or out. Selection Sunday, bubbles burst, right? Like it's as simple as that. And people like to say, and I consume so much of this content. You know that, right?
Oh yeah, I know that.
Field of 68. I'm watching my buddy John Fant this morning. He's at like a hotel in Providence. People are coming up to him while he's on his live stream. And I was like, oh, 68 teams is so many. I wish it was 64. Don't expand. Like 68, yeah, it's a good amount until you realize that there's 31 conference champions. And then like a league like the SEC is going to get 13 or 14 teams in. There isn't a lot of margin for a program in the Mountain West like San Diego State. And that's where the Aztecs sit currently at 20-8 overall. I mean, they just don't have a ton of margin to make it here in 2025, but there's still a path. Mm-hmm. And it involves Jim Russell in the building. That's the path.
I'll bring this thing home. Don't worry.
You're going to bring this home.
I can't help but just go back to, if they get in, man, that Houston win will turn out to be like the golden ticket.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Absolutely. Overtime win, Vegas. Saturday after Thanksgiving, I was back here. The Aztecs football team was playing that night. Mm-hmm. Right? So it was like, yeah, it was huge.
Massive.
Brent, what did you have?
I was going to say, are you... I would say now I forgot because I started listening to you.
Okay, he'll be back.
He'll be back
when you let us know when you have the point. Yeah, the Houston win, which by the way, not a lot of people saw live because there were a lot of Aztec fans there Tuesday and Wednesday, but then there was Thanksgiving, so people went home. Remember, there were 2 days between games. The Aztecs went home. They went from Vegas Wednesday. They came home for 2 days. They went back to Vegas to then play Houston on Saturday.
Didn't they have Thanksgiving dinner at Miles Byrd's family's house?
They may have before that event, but they came back to San Diego and then went back to Las Vegas to play Houston. And then they came I don't know how many points they trailed by in that game. It must have been 12 at one point. They came back from 12 down against Houston. Nobody's come down from like 6 down against Houston this year.
Okay, I remembered.
Yeah.
Don't root for any underdogs next week if you're Aztec fans. Don't go, oh God, I really hate Duke. I hope that. No, we don't want some team that has no chance of getting into the tournament, winning their conference tournament, because that just increases our odds of getting pushed out.
Jim made the point with Rocco Miller, the bid stealer. You're right. So a year ago, I'll give you the perfect example. NC State won the ACC.
You're like, what?
And I think they won 5 games in 5 days to do it. I think they had a 3 at a buzzer to like get into overtime.
And then they made the Final Four.
That and they took a team out of the field because they wouldn't have even been in the tournament. Last year, there were 5 bid stealers. Do the math on that, Jim. Do you know what that means?
That means five teams
were out.
And that 5 other teams stole their bid.
So let's say right now you're in the last 4 in. Even if there's 1 bid stealer, the last 4 in becomes the last 3 in. If there's 2 bid stealers, you get the point. The last 4 in, well, 2 of them are gone.
Oh.
So you have to root, to Brent's point, for chalk.
Chalk it up.
March chalkness, not madness.
We need Duke. We need Houston.
Yes.
We need Auburn.
Here, can I give you a worst case? You know me. I'm always like, scare everyone.
Yeah.
Here's what we don't need.
Okay.
Let's say San Diego State wins on Saturday. And I'm like, Jim, you're off the hook. Things are good. Nobody's going to be like they're locked in. But you're going to feel better. Here's my concern about the Mountain West. So New Mexico's likely going. Utah State's likely going. Let's say off a Saturday win, the Aztecs feel decent, but not perfect. What if Boise State or Colorado State win the Mountain West tournament? Will they let a 4th Mountain West team in the field? Would that knock a San Diego State from in to out? You don't like that. But that's where I say root for chalk.
Why not How about this? Screw it. Win Saturday and just
keep winning.
And just win the Mountain West Conference tournament.
I love that.
Then you're automatically in.
I say win all the games in March.
Yeah.
Just keep winning.
Just never lose.
Never. Right. No, that's a good option too.
Now, when's the national championship game?
April.
Okay. So if they did win every game in March,
they'd be playing in April.
Yeah.
Let's just win Saturday. Let's just get to the point where San Diego State wins on Saturday. But again, there's just so many, to Brent's point, there are so many things out there in the ether that impact San Diego State. That's the thing that we sometimes forget about. We get so insular. We think that, well, if the Aztecs win on Saturday, there's so many other factors that go into it. But the only thing San Diego State can control is winning tomorrow or on Saturday. And Brian Dutcher will join us tomorrow, actually. Brian Dutcher show tomorrow night at 6 p.m. All right, we're here until 6 p.m. We have another giveaway for you coming up on the other side of this break. We're going to announce the winner for the Aztec tickets. We'll announce the winner for the Aztec tickets for senior night, and we'll also give away a pair of tickets to the Summer of Loud, which is coming up Gallagher Square, Petco Park on July 2nd. We're here until 6 p.m. Jim's back page still ahead of Jon and Jim.
All right, this update's brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. San Diego State coming off their loss to UNLV last night. They'll take on Nevada for senior night this Saturday, 7:30 tip, 6:30 pregame. Listen right here on San Diego Sports 760. And Padres news of the day, they signed infielder Jose Iglesias to a minor league deal. Deal could become a major league contract if he makes the club out of spring. And NFL news of the day, Raiders, they have signed Max Crosby to a 3-year, $106.5 million contract extension with $91 million guaranteed. Daylight savings time is here to bring one less hour of sleep. The 5-Hour Energy team has your time change solution. Limited edition 1-hour energy shots, a tiny version of the shot you love, designed to help you conquer the time change. For more information, visit 5hourenergy.com/DST.
All right, it's time to announce our winner. So we qualify 3 listeners for a chance to win 2 free tickets to see the Aztecs against Nevada Saturday at 7:30 at Viejas Arena. It's a whiteout, by the way, if you're going. Remember to wear white. It's senior night, so get there early. Must-win game for the Aztecs. We're going to do the drum roll.
Do the drum roll.
Okay. Do the drum roll. You know the answer?
Terry, you are the winner.
Terry.
Congratulations. You are going to senior night on Saturday, San Diego State against Nevada. Terry is the winner.
Terry, you'll be sitting next to Jim and Aaron. No, I don't know if that's probably not true, but maybe you'll see Jim and Aaron.
Maybe. If you see me, come say hi.
Can I read the dumbest text of the decade?
I thought we had the dumbest text of the decade like earlier in the show.
We did, but it's superseded it or like supplanted it.
Oh, so we have a
now
dumber text.
Here's what the 619 doesn't realize. We can see every text you've ever sent. The fact that we haven't blocked you is a credit to us. It's a remarkable job by us. It is truly incredible we haven't blocked you. Your texts are so absurdly stupid. It's amazing I would even say them on air. But I'm going to do it anyway. I mean, some of these texts, he's just some UCLA honk who's an Aztec troll. And he's had some absurdly bad takes. I mean, they're comical, some of the takes, including this one. Okay. So 619 says, Dutch should be on the hot seat. The program is regressing. I can't even say this with a straight face. Recruiting is bad. The team is badly coached. The Aztecs are always ill prepared. Get rid of Dutch. So again, he's a UCLA fan. And I don't even know. Maybe he wants me to read it on air, which I'm happy to do. But you can't have a dumber text. Is that you really can't? It shouldn't be entertained, even though it's just been entertained, and probably encourages him to send more dumb texts. But here's the thing: he doesn't realize I can just block him at any point, and it's amazing we haven't.
Don't block him.
I think I won't yet.
No, keep him. It's great. You know what we call those people, John?
You tell me.
We call those people trolls.
Right.
Looking for a like legitimate reaction.
Right.
When we know you are trolling, my guy.
Right.
And you sound dumb. So go ahead. Keep texting the show. Love it.
Keep text. Just keep. One thing you should do is keep listening.
Yes, please.
Keep
listening.
One thing you should definitely
keep
do.
listening and keep texting idiotic things like that. It's fine.
Right.
We appreciate you.
Yeah. I mean, I will give you the other side of that coin, which is if they make the tournament, which they still have to do, it's pretty amazing considering what they've had to replace from last year and losing Reese Waters and now losing Magoon for the last 4 or 5 games. Again, they still got to get there, and that's not going to be easy. I'm not telling you it is. It's really not. I mean, whether it's Saturday or next week in Las Vegas, none of this is easy. We're at the point of the year where you just have to win no matter how you win. But we'll see if they do or don't. If they don't get there, we will, autopsy the year at some point. If they do get there, we'll autopsy the year at some point. But it's season's not over. It's like I'm always amazed when someone's like, "Oh, I don't like this book. Did you read it?" No. How do you know you don't like the book? You didn't even read it. You just saw the cover.
Like I like the show. I didn't watch it.
Right. Exactly. That's exactly right.
Like what? Or you watch a show and in the first 3 minutes, you're like, I don't like it.
Yeah,
Turn
exactly.
it off.
Yeah.
You're like you didn't even give it a chance.
And there's shows like that too, where like you might watch an episode or two and you may not think it's your cup of tea, and then all of a sudden by the end of the first season, you're like, this is incredible.
Yeah, but also like, it's a little different because everything's objective when it comes to like shows and books, right? Like I can watch a show and think it's awesome. And when Brent can watch the same show and think it's stupid. You don't watch movies, so I can't put you in that conversation, right? In sports, you have to wait until the end. You can't just stop it in the middle.
We've always said, I mean, shoot, if I went back to last October when the Dodgers were down 2-1 and everyone's telling me, well, this isn't the Dodgers' best team and they think next year's their year, they ended up winning the World Series with only a couple of starters and bullpen days, and they weren't even a favorite to do it.
Must be nice.
But there's countless examples of something like that. 858 had a funny text chiming in, says, as a fellow UCLA fan, that guy should be worried about his own team. UCLA's fine. They're well situated right now heading into March. So anyway, just whatever, 619. So Jim's back page is coming up. We still have another giveaway for you, and we'll do that at some point in the next handful of minutes. We'll give away tickets to the Summer of Loud. This is at Gallagher Square, Petco Park, July 2nd. We'll give away tickets coming up in the next handful of minutes. We do have Jim's back page coming up. Padres lost today. Rallied against the Rockies, only to lose 4-3.
They've lost 9 of 10.
But if they really lost, but they haven't won any of those 10, did they tie one of them?
They tied one of them. So I guess
I don't know if that's right.
Hold on.
They were 2-0 and now they're 3-9-1. So I think they're 1-9-1 in their last 10. You're right. They've lost 9 of 10, basically.
Okay. Do we need to have a legit conversation?
No, we don't. We don't have to have the legit conversation. Did Jose Iglesias, when's he supposed to get into camp?
I don't know. I mean, the Padres haven't made it official. That's why I'm surprised this morning Schulte actually
talked
about Jose Iglesias, because they don't ever talk about signings unless they're actually official. Now, it is a minor league deal.
Right.
But it is not, I guess, official yet. And Schulte was talking about it. So I'm like, okay.
Right. Well, let's hear from, this was Schilt on the signing or the reported signing of Jose Iglesias earlier today.
Excited to have him. He's on board, and it's here later tonight. Clearly a proven guy in the league, plays multiple positions, integral part of a lot of clubs and their success, winning player, very accomplished guy. So we're excited to have him come in here and have a chance to compete for an opportunity.
You can always use guys with the qualities that you just mentioned, but it wouldn't seem like you had a glaring need there. But maybe Aggie is going to spend more time in the outfield. Is that a possibility?
It's all on the table. I mean, listen, we got a competitive camp. We add to it with Iglesias. It does. I mean, Aggie's already moved around the field, second, third, left field. Played short last year a little bit. So, AJ brought him in. It's a good opportunity for him to come in and compete for the spot on the club, and that's what we're here for.
Schulte on Iglesias. He likes that versatility.
He's fired up like usual.
He's a winner.
He's won,
which means he'll find a solution, because winners find solutions.
Winners always find solutions, John. Schulte, there's not one player you could find that Schulte will say a bad thing about.
Not that's on the Padres.
No, never. Not maybe there's no players in baseball you could say bad. I think Schulte, you could ask him a question about any major leaguer and he would find something nice and positive to say about
Who was it? Nicky? It was the second series of the year, and he mentioned Nicky. We're like, is there a Nicky on the Padres? He was talking about like the giant second baseman.
And then Nicky Ahmed got on the Padres at the end of the year.
That's exactly right. That's
Nicky.
right. Yeah, no, Schulte's complimentary. I think there's reasons to be complimentary, truthfully, of Jose Iglesias. He's had a nice career. He's coming off a nice season. The Padres know who he is. They had him in their system in 2023. He spent time in AAA El Paso in 2023. I think it's a calculated move. I think it serves a purpose, which is either depth or hitting left-handed pitching or versatility defensively. So I understand it. They're paying a little bit of money if he makes the team. $3 million by Padres standards is more than a little bit of money, but they see value in Iglesias coming off the year he just had. He helped guide them. He helped play a role in getting the Mets to where they got.
I saw something funny today on social media. It's like, if I see Jose Iglesias having a concert at the end of a game,
right,
and the dude's hitting like 210, we're going to have problems.
Well, he did it last year. He was hitting like 350, right? Because he had a concert last year with the Mets.
The OMG.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a vibes guy. Apparently, he was last year with the Mets.
He is a vibes guy.
Reportedly, he wasn't happy that the Mets didn't offer him a deal off last year.
Well, he's going to need to make the
mind?
team. He will have to make the actual roster.
Right. So he doesn't have a spot guaranteed to him right now.
No, and as we've talked about on the show today, it's a logjam. There's how many infielders do you usually carry on a roster, John? You think? 6?
Yeah, 6.
Okay.
6.
So you got 6 dudes, and right now it's Connor Joe, Luis Arise, Jay Cronenworth, Tyler Wade, Xander Bogaerts, Eggy Rosario, Manny Machado, Jose Iglesias, Yuli Gurriel.
Yeah, you're saying too many.
That's 9.
Yeah, they're not going to carry 9.
No.
So yeah, there's a crunch coming there, and it's going to come down to like who's had a nice spring, who has options, what serves the manager well.
Now you could have Eggy Rosario be an outfielder.
Yeah, definitely.
But okay, I'd rather have.
They're still not all going to make the team.
No, they will not all make the team. No.
Right, they won't all make the team. But again, calculated move. He might start the year in the minor leagues. What one thing he has done beyond last year is he has hit for average. He's always hit for average,
and I like that. I think that is something in baseball that is. It's kind of crazy to say that. It's like undervalued.
Yeah, definitely.
If someone hits for a high average but doesn't have any pop or any, he's not viewed as valuable. And I'm like, have you seen Luis Arise? Like, this dude can change games.
Right.
He at the plate doesn't strike out. He hits for a high average. He's great with runners in scoring position. Okay, he doesn't walk, but he hits 320.
Yeah, this guy hit 337 last year.
Right.
I think it's a very good point. All right, call right now if you want 2 free tickets to Summer of Loud, coming to Gallagher Square, Petco Park, July 2nd. For tickets and info, go to Ticketmaster.com. First caller to 877-767-4760 is going. We have 2 free tickets to see the Summer of Loud, Gallagher Square, Petco Park, July 2nd, 877-767-4760. Jim's back page next. All right, Jon and Jim, a final time. And again, join us tomorrow at 2 p.m. We will have more Aztec Senior Night tickets to give away throughout the course of the show tomorrow. That's for Saturday night. We will have Chase Fisher, CEO of Blenders, actually join us in studio tomorrow as well.
Must be
They've got
nice.
their state release, their Aztec NIL Mesa collaboration. He'll join us in studio tomorrow.
Is that what that means?
Yeah, collab.
Oh, wow.
Collab. So he'll join us in studio tomorrow. And we'll give away Aztec tickets, and we'll get you ready for this weekend out of Viejas Arena. SDFC plays this weekend. Padres play this weekend. Maybe they'll win at some point over the next few days in the Cactus League.
That'd be nice because this losing streak, it's been really difficult on the fan base.
Yeah, I'm sure it has been. It's been really tough. Kevin didn't even know. He's like, I don't know the last time they won.
Nor
It's like
does he care.
it seems like it's been a while, but
because Kevin's probably leaving during the game to go talk to the starters when they get out.
He's probably writing like notebooks during the game.
Like, I'm sure he was down there today talking to Michael King while the game was still going on, and then he just left.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Like,
The game was in Peoria today, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were at home. Can't lose at home.
Lost at home to the Rockies. Rockies are 10-3 in Cactus League play.
Unbelievable. What's that worth once the season starts?
Should they be considered contender?
No, they shouldn't. All right, let's get to it.
Have you ever flown JetBlue before?
Of course.
Well, JetBlue has unveiled a new Nintendo-themed plane.
Nintendo-themed plane.
Yep. Yesterday afternoon, the airline unveiled a new look for one of its planes as part of its partnership with Nintendo. The Airbus A320 design, named Cloud Top Cruiser, is a colorful design that features Nintendo characters like Mario, Princess Peach, Luigi, Bowser, Donkey Kong, and Yoshi. Customers on board will receive a greeting from Mario and friends on the welcome screen of their entertainment touchscreens.
I don't know if I want Yoshi flying my plane.
Quote, from the outside of to the inside of the aircraft of the Cloud Top Cruiser, it's designed to make every trip feel like an adventure through the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah, it's exactly what I'm looking for. Hey, I can't wait for this adventure with Yoshi on my plane.
Well, I think that's pretty cool.
Do you?
Yeah, dude. If I got to fly on a Nintendo-themed airplane, right, Brent? Like, that sounds pretty fun. You know, I want like everything to be Nintendo-themed. I want
Are the characters, like, are the flight attendants dressed up?
I don't know, but I want that.
Are the meals?
Well, it depends on how far you're flying. I mean, if you're flying just
yes,
like,
John, the meals are all mushrooms and
That's what
flowers.
I was wondering.
Yeah. Everybody gets a mushroom and then they just become bigger. And then certain people get stars on the plane.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then other people's
It has potential. I could see where they're going with that. Like an alt cast for TV.
yeah, like theme planes.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would be cool is if you got like special themed, like you said, special themed food items, or you could play special like games on this touch screen with like Mario and whatnot and different like Nintendo stuff. That'd be pretty cool. But I don't think they're doing that.
Yeah.
just
I mean,
yet.
it's the same thing. Like, come on. Why are we on the tarmac?
Well, at least it would make the flight a little more like
Bearable.
fun,
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
especially if you're a kid. I mean, if you're
definitely.
if you're flying with a kid,
Got to do it.
dude,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
Netflix today announced the release date for Happy Gilmore 2. It will release on Netflix on July 25th. I know you're not excited.
Straight to
about that.
Netflix?
Well, it's not like
It's
a bad
not
thing.
it's not in a movie theater.
No, you know how many movies won Oscars that were just on Netflix?
I don't.
A lot.
But they still put movies in theaters, right?
Yes, but now Netflix has become also a big movie destination.
Yeah, definitely.
Well,
Makes sense.
Adam Sandler has an exclusive contract
With
with Netflix,
Netflix,
so
yeah.
all of his movies go straight to there and not to theaters anymore.
It makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
I love it because, I mean, I like going to the movie theaters, right?
It's
Fun. It's great, especially like IMAX movies or, big movies that are coming out, like blockbuster films. But a lot of times I just want to watch the movies like maybe at home in bed off of Netflix.
You can do that with Happy Gilmore too. When's it come out, did you say?
July 25th.
I'll put it in my calendar.
I know you will. Taco Bell is set to release a new Baja Blast flavor,
which is
passion fruit midnight mountain.
So does that mean is it like
what
dark?
What is Mountain Dew Baja Midnight?
Right.
The exclusive new beverage blends sweet passion fruit flavors with the familiar tropical lime taste of a Baja Blast, creating a refreshing one-of-a-kind drink designed to perfectly complement any Taco Bell meal. But here's the catch. Baja Midnight will only be available at select Taco Bell locations.
In Tokyo.
It will be in the U.S. It just will not be at every U.S. location.
Well, how are we going to know the locations?
I don't know, John.
Call?
Sure. Speaking of Taco Bell, they are releasing a new menu item. All right.
Okay.
I was just going to bring that up.
The new salted caramel and toffee cream empanada.
That's not what I was talking about.
Oh, what are you talking about, Brent?
Give me 1 second. Keep going.
Well, the new caramel salted toffee cream empanada is inspired by the beloved caramel apple empanada. This is a golden fried pastry filled with rich salted caramel and creamy toffee.
And this isn't what Brent was talking about?
No, what are you talking about, Brent?
No, I saw a thing today that they have a new menu item that they're calling a queso crisp.
A queso crisp,
which I don't know what all is in it, but it is a new menu item where the shell is made out of cheese.
What?
So instead of
Sounds
like
good.
your taco shell being made out of corn or whatever, it's just going to be made out of like fried cheese.
You know what? Why not?
I like fried cheese
shell.
I'm from Wisconsin. I could not get enough cheese on everything. So yeah, I'd try that. It looks interesting.
Looks good.
I don't know what else is in it except for like looks like chicken or something, but yeah, the shell looks good.
Yeah,
I would do that.
definitely.
Love it. Finally, you like Legoland, right, John?
I love Legoland.
Jones loves Legoland.
Yeah,
is what
that's
you're
a better.
saying.
That's a better way.
Yeah.
To put it.
Legoland California Resort is going to host the world's largest Lego festival this spring, taking the power of creativity to a whole new level. The Carlsbad location joins 6 other Legoland resorts worldwide hosting the event. The Lego Festival will embody what Legoland is all about. And the Lego Festival will be comprised of 49 new large-scale Lego models plus 5 zones to encourage guests to play in different ways, the park said. The zones will be music, creativity, dance, gaming, and chill out.
And this is when?
This is in the spring, John.
Okay, so coming soon.
It's coming in May.
Coming in May, okay.
Coming in May, so be on the lookout for that.
You want to do that?
The Lego, here we go. The Lego Festival kicks off May 3rd and will run for 6 weekends until World Play Day on June 11th. The experience is included with the purchase of regular admission tickets, which can be found on Legoland California Resort's website, and they start at $79 per person.
Okay. Maybe we could do that this spring, Jim. One of those weekends.
I haven't been to Legoland in a long time. I need to get back.
You've been previously.
I have. Yes.
What do you do
as an adult? What do? I look at the cool Lego sets, mostly like the Star Wars stuff and the like cities.
Okay. Oh yeah, like they have like San Diego.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Vegas.
Correct.
New York.
Yeah. I love me some Legoland.
Yeah, it's awesome. Jones is.
If I wasn't married, I'd probably still
it.
be building Legos. Hell, maybe I'm going to start building Legos again.
You come over to my place.
Okay.
We can build.
I'll build a Millennium Falcon with you.
That's fine.
Do you know what that is?
No, and he doesn't do it's Star Wars.
I think it's a bird, dog.
We haven't done Star Wars.
Maybe you guys start getting Jones on the Star Wars.
Nah, no. All right. We're back tomorrow at 2 p.m. We've got those Aztec senior night
Lego
tickets
tofurkeys
to give away tomorrow. Chase Fisher, CEO of Blenders. There's a launch collaboration with Mesa that's going to be unveiled tomorrow. So Chase Fisher will join us in studio tomorrow at 4 p.m. Great giveaways tomorrow as well. For Brent and Jim, I'm John. Keep it here. This is San Diego Sports 760.
Okay. Peace out. Bye.
Bye-bye.